is The Monty Show, the truth in sports talk streaming. When you want unbiased opinions about your favorite team without the spin, all you have to do is find The Monty Show, streaming live and available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on YouTube. And now, here's Monty.
Hey, how the heck are you? It's already Thursday, July 6, 2023. The Monty Show. A week from now, we'll be in Dallas at Big 12 Football Media Days, where I am unhappy to tell you it's going to be millions of dollars for the internet.
So don't complain.
We have to talk about how expensive the Big D is.
Excuse me.
How expensive it is to do business in Torrance County. We got to talk about that coming, because it's not going to be a cheap trip. I can tell you that. We got to talk about that coming up. Damian Lillard's a villain. That's coming up. Mark Zuckerberg's a cock, and he started Threads, and he lit the world on fire. So Elon's suing him. We've got to talk about that coming up on the show. And coming up an hour from now, a brand new details on the San Diego State situation with the Mountain West. And it is some wild stuff. Wait until you hear what Adela De La Torre went through. And I am starting to wonder if Adela De La Torre, the president at San Diego State, and again, I know this is an hour away, but just start chewing on this. Is she completely in over her head? Because when you hear the details of what Adela De La Torre and San Diego State did to try and hide their maneuvering, that was never going to work. What made you think this was going to work, dude?
Yeah.
Right? You know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
It is.
Yes.
Wait until you guys hear the details. We'll talk about that coming up in an hour on the program, presented by The Advocates. TheAdvocates.com, the best injury attorneys in the business. I tell you guys every single day, the stress that comes along with getting in an accident is, if you've never been there, and unfortunately, knock on wood, thankfully, I have never been in a serious injury accident, but I know so many people who have. I have so many friends who have been injured at work. The stress that infiltrates every aspect of your life, from how you're going to pay your mortgage or your rent, your car payments, your medical bills, fighting with your insurance company over paying for an ambulance ride that they said was out of network. All of this craziness that you just shouldn't have to worry about. You should be worried about getting back to the best version of yourself. Let the advocates fight for you. You didn't deserve to get in that accident, but you certainly deserve an advocate. Chat with an attorney live online right now for free. UtahAdvocates.com, TheAdvocates.com, because you don't pay the advocates a penny, not a penny, unless and until they win your case at TheAdvocates.com. Want to start the show today talking about Big 12 versus Pac-12 in football. And here's a question just right out of the gate, Jake, that I would ask you, if I said you right now today, for this upcoming season, is the Big 12 or the Pac-12 the better football conference?
Yeah, I think right now for the upcoming season, I would say that the Pac-12 is a deeper conference overall. When you look at it from top to bottom, I think the Pac-12 is just a tougher conference. USC and UCLA have not left yet. They still have one more season. And I think because of that makes the Pac-12 a better conference on the football field than the Big 12 right now. Now, next year, that's a different conversation, obviously. But I think when you look at Lincoln Riley and what he's done at USC in this offseason in the recruiting window, it's nothing short of sensational. They've added big talent after big talent. I look at the fact that Kyle Whittingham in Utah, again, that defense is going to be better. Brant Keithy's back. You've got Cam Rising coming back. Hopefully that knee is ready to go. Everyone says he's on pace, but we'll see. You never know. But assuming that all is well, in Salt Lake, you would expect Utah to be very good. And then, of course, there's Oregon and Washington to the north that are always solid. So I think for those reasons, I look at the top four teams in the Pac-12, and I do contend that those top four teams are better than the top four teams in the Big 12. But then I look at the rest of the conference. Stanford is the worst team in the Pac-12 in my opinion, but even they are better than some of the bottom feeders in the Big 12. So I think top to bottom, the Pac-12 is the deeper conference, but again, it remains to be seen how it will play out.
I think it's really interesting when you look at some of the numbers that came out today, and I think it was Brett Yormark had this tweet about who is favored and who is not favored in the majority of their games.
Brett McMurphy.
I said Brett Yormark.
You said Yormark, yeah.
Same thing.
Brett,
They're I've never seen them in the same room.
It's the same thing. Yeah, it's the same.
But Brett McMurphy came out with that list, and then you look at, in the Big 12, look at the preseason media poll. And what's really interesting to me here is not that necessarily Texas is on top. Well, I think we all recognize that Texas is going to disappoint, but I actually think they are the best team in the Big 12. But look how far down TCU is. TCU 5th in the preseason media poll. As we've talked about on this show, I think a huge year upcoming for Texas Tech.
Mm-hmm.
I think K-State is very interesting in that I think you lost a lot of talent to the NFL. I think when you talk about guys like Deuce Vaughn, Malik Knowles, I mean, you lost a lot of talent. And I think if K-State is going to repeat, they're going to have some guys we don't know about step up.
Right.
I think that's interesting. You look at Gundy at Oklahoma State, right in the middle of the conference. UCF at 8. Look at the bottom 3. Houston, Cincinnati, really the bottom 4. BYU, Houston, and Cincinnati. Obviously, that's significant because they're all newcomers. But look at West Virginia. And you guys wonder why Morgantown is not in the camera shot.
Because it's garbage.
They're saying West Virginia only got 129 total votes in the Big 12. Now, I bring this up because this is a really good conference. I mean, one of the other teams you notice there is Brett Venables in Oklahoma. A lot of people think that Brett Venables in Oklahoma are going to have a bounce-back year. They better, because I think this conference really needs the Blue Bloods to step up.
Yeah.
Because right now, even UCF at, 8, I think is lofty. UCF, BYU, Cincinnati, and Houston have a hill to climb, if we're being totally honest. So that's 4 big members of your conference that's more than a quarter that you can't count on to win week in and week out in the conference. So if you're not going to get Texas, if Texas disappoints, and let's say Texas is a 3-loss team, they're not winning this conference.
Right.
They are not. So it's going to be really interesting to see how all of this comes together in the Big 12. And then I think, much to your point, Jake, when you look at the Pac-12, I don't think there's any surprises here. I think when you look at Utah, that's the best defense in the conference. And frankly, I think it's one of the best defenses in the entire country. I think the Utah Utes, and I know water's wet and the Utes are phenomenal on defense.
Facts.
That defensive line, and the name you need to watch at Utah in the secondary is Cole Bishop. Because I think that kid is one of the best safeties in the country and nobody talks about him. And I think you let that kid get downhill, you let him hit a dude, you let him get behind a football, and you're in real trouble. And if that D-line is getting to the quarterback and Cole Bishop is playing fast downhill football, they're going to be unbeatable. Now, they've also got to go to Baylor. They've also got to go to, USC on the road early in the season. The early season schedule for Utah is incredibly difficult. The lofty expectations at USC, incredibly difficult to live up to. But having said that, I expect some of the lower mid-table Pac-12 teams. I can only espouse about Oregon State for so long.
Yep.
I can only say that I believe Jed Fish is doing great things at Arizona. I think they're on the rise. I mean, screw ASU. They're never going to win anything, right? But
yeah.
I think, obviously, Stanford, Cal is coaching. Wilcox is coaching for his job at Cal, I think.
Yep.
I would expect Washington, Oregon, Utah, and SC to be rock solid.
Yeah, that's the top cut.
Yeah, I would expect Oregon State to be right below that group. And obviously, DJ's going to have to play some really good football for the Beavs if they want to do anything in Corvallis, have any kind of success. I mean, DJ Uiagalelei is going to have a hell of a year to do that. But, man, I'm here to tell you, I think the Pac-12 is a better football conference than the Big 12, and we spent hours and hours and hours. That's a lie. Trying to put together, the comparisons and stuff. That never happened. But, we've spent a lot of time contrasting the Big 12 and the Pac-12. And I think the Pac-12 is the better football conference. I don't know that that's really that controversial. I don't know.
That's not a hot take?
Well, no, I honestly, I don't think it is.
Yeah, I mean, I think you look at a team like Oregon State, and I only bring Oregon State up again because they're that team that doesn't get a lot of love. I think a lot of people who are not familiar with Oregon State or maybe who are SEC folks or Big 12 folks or whatever, just not Pac-12 people, don't understand the quality. And by the way, the schedule that Oregon State has been handed this year. So you look at their schedule, and I only bring this up to kind of speak to the fact that Oregon State's going to be a problem. So San Jose State, that's a win. UC Davis is a win. The vaunted, incredible, amazing San Diego State, I would expect Oregon State to win that game. Washington State, you're going to win. And then again, as he just said, you have Utah at home. So that's going to be a big game. If you can beat Utah, which I don't think you will, but let's say you found a way to do that, now you're really cooking with gas. But I look at Cal. That's a win. That should be a win.
But ask yourself about Washington State.
That should be a win all day.
But I think what Jake Dickert's done in Pullman, flying under the radar, because he's got a real problem as a president, and Kurt Schultz, in my opinion, who is taking up massive headlines. You look at the fact that Cam Ward is back at Washington State.
Mm-hmm.
This is year 2 in the program now. I think they're going to be significantly improved. So, maybe are they, of these 12 teams, they're probably top 6.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
If
I guess.
If you look at the bottom of the conference, I think we would all agree Stanford's probably the worst team in the conference, right? I don't think there's any doubt about that.
Yep.
But here's a really important question about the Pac-12. Is Deion Sanders already set up to fail there? Because Brett McMurphy put out this list of teams that were favored or not favored.
Mm-hmm.
And they are underdogs at Colorado. They're underdogs in 11 of their 12 games. The only team worse than that is Stanford, who's an underdog in all 12 games.
Uh-huh.
If Deion Sanders wins 3 games, they're going to throw parades for him.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. That's what I was going to say. Like, if you're an underdog to that level, I almost, my take would be, hey, you're almost set up to succeed because everyone thinks you're going to fail anyway. So if you do fail, it's like, yeah, well, it's his first year in the program. Like, it's kind of hard. Like, you saw, he stripped down that roster, brought a ton of kids in through the portal. Like, yeah, there's a lot happening there. So, 3 wins in your first season for Deion and your first P5, D1, set up. Yeah, that's pretty good, especially at a school like Colorado that hasn't seen success in I don't know how long. Yeah, that's a pretty good year. So if dude somehow finds a way to overachieve and win 5 games, let's say.
Oh my God.
They're going to be throwing parades and going ham in Boulder, and that's fine. That's cool. But I just think when I look at the Pac-12 again, that's why I say like the lower end team in the Pac-12 has more potential and more, in my opinion, is more likely to overachieve than the low end team in the Big 12. Like if I said, hey, who do we think has a better chance to win 5 games? Do we think that Cincinnati or Deion has a better chance to win 5 games? Well, you can make a case both ways.
But by default, don't you have to take the Natty? I think you have to. I'm not. If Deion Sanders wins 5 games, I'll give him my toes. I'm serious. If Deion wins 5 games,
that was hey, he almost had to cut his foot off reference. That was.
If you have to explain it really wasn't that funny. My point is, if Deion wins 5 games,
right,
just give him the National Coach of the Year. Make them conference champions. You just put him in the damn thing. Crown him already.
Right.
Right?
Already crowned Colorado.
Seriously, if Deion Sanders wins 5 games at Colorado, do you know, heaven and earth, that's not enough moving to win 5 games in Boulder.
Yeah.
That team is going to be rough.
When is parade?
And I think, parade's not for many years, sir.
Parade?
Parade is not for many years. And I say that because they have talent. I think Shedeur Sanders is probably top half of the Pac-12 in these 12 conferences, in the 12 conference as it stands now. I think Shedeur Sanders is probably top 6 quarterbacks in the league. I mean, you when you have Hunter out there, like you have talent. You have a really good coaching staff. That's great. You're going to win 3 games.
Yeah.
He wins 5 games. My hot damn, they make a bowl game, and I mean, just fire Nick Saban and hire Prime. What would it take for Prime to win 6 games at Colorado?
Injuries to other teams.
Oh my God!
Injuries to other teams.
Caleb Williams, his nuts would have to fall off.
Yeah.
Like it'd have to be.
Yeah.
Well, let's hope not. But it'd have to. Yeah. Ow! It'd have to be catastrophic.
Yeah.
I don't even know. Like every other quarterback and DJ Uiagalelei would have to stay healthy and throw 10 interceptions a game. Sorry,
That was probably a little extreme.
It probably was a little extreme, but I'm pretty convinced. Colorado's, if Stanford's 12th, Colorado's 11th, and then I think you're looking at, I think Kenny Dillingham's ultimately going to do a nice job in Tempe.
Right.
But right now he's 10th.
Right.
Right? And then you're talking about Cal. And I understand that, look, they've got 10 guys back, 10 starters back. It doesn't mean dick. You're not a good program. It's seriously. And I'm not even trying to hate.
It's garbage.
It means nothing that they have 10 people
Hey,
back.
Cal or West Virginia, bro?
Your mom. Like,
Because it's garbage.
Bullet. Like, I'm telling you, Cal, they never win anything.
Yeah.
So it's cool, and everybody's like, oh, they've got 10 starters back. The band's on the field. No, it's not. No, it's not. You're going to lose to Stanford.
Ain't no reset.
Right? Yeah, seriously. They won't lose. Nobody's losing to Stanford. But if you look at the top 8 teams in the Pac-12, they can win against anybody any Saturday in college football. Arizona, certainly. I think what Jed Fish has there, you look at you know, Jaden DeLora, obviously that's a huge get back for them. Seriously, you know, like you look at, I mean, Jacob Singer's a huge loss to SC. There's no way to sugarcoat that or absorb that loss in Tucson. That's a huge loss. But Jaden DeLora, I think that's a big deal. They were 5-7 last year. I think Jed Fish has done a good job bringing guys in. I think they win games they shouldn't win. I think espoused about what Jake Dickert's doing at Washington State.
Right.
I think he's the best coach they've had in a number of years there. Certainly, I think he's the first guy that gets you past Mr. Mask guy.
Excuse me, Mr. Mask guy?
Yeah, Rolacock.
Right.
The coronavirus.
I think Chip Kelly's going to not do a thing this year. I think they're not going to be good. You're transitioning out of probably your best quarterback, at least in the modern era, in DTR. I don't know how you replace that.
Well, he's still not there. He was been there for like 8 years, bro.
I don't think he's ever going to graduate. But then you get to my guy Johnny Smith and the Beavs. I love Johnny's Beavers, and I'm just telling you.
Don't touch me there. That, sir, is my no-no square.
I'm telling you, the Oregon State Beavers are going to be very good.
Yes.
They're going to be a problem.
Yes.
That Oregon win last year was not an accident. I don't want to hear about how, you know, your boy Bo Nix had a groin bruise and I don't care.
Yeah.
You went to Corvallis and your dreams died.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah, next question.
But having said that, I think Jonathan Smith and Oregon State are much better. And then when you get into the top 4 teams in this conference, just flip a coin. Because I'm also not somebody that believes that Dan Lanning has vastly improved Oregon. I don't believe that Oregon with Bo Nix, I don't believe they're better than Utah. I don't believe they're better than SC. And the best fucking team in the conference is probably Washington. If we're being honest, I think Washington's probably the best team. Having said all that, I think this is a better football conference than the Big 12.
Yeah. I mean, there's not really getting around that. Again,
I left you speechless.
Yeah, I mean, I think I just don't think it's that crazy of a thing to say. I mean, again, if we're looking at the bottom half of the conference, because that's ultimately what makes the argument. Again, like if I said, "Hey, TCU's playing Oregon," well, that's a coin flip, man. That just depends on who makes, the least amount of mistakes in that particular game on that particular day on that particular field. I mean, that's, you know what I mean? Like the best of the Big 12 versus the best of the Pac-12 is very tight. So I don't really, when I'm looking at these rankings, if you will, or trying to measure these conferences, I'm looking at the bottom half. So yeah, I'd rather have, Arizona than obviously like Cincinnati. I'd rather have, Oregon State versus, BYU, let's say, or whatever. Like, I just think that the Pac-12, top to bottom, is a more quality conference, and the Pac-12's garbage is less trash than the Big 12's garbage.
But I think if you look at the top of this conference, and let's just pretend it's Washington and Texas.
Yeah.
The thing in that game is if Texas stays healthy, and the creek don't rise.
Yeah.
If Texas stays healthy,
I think that's HIPAA.
And you look at what Texas has across that offensive line, you're getting all your dudes back. Ewers should be healthy. You have one of the best running backs. You have one of the best, wide receivers. I think what you have at tight end with Sanders, I think is spectacular. This offense should be really good, and you have inarguably one of the best offensive minds in college football in Steve Sarkisian. I just don't know how Texas fails. And I said it on Twitter today, and everybody got on the Texas always disappoints bandwagon.
It's true.
But you're right.
It's true.
You're right. I'm not even arguing that.
Yeah.
But how do you screw this up? You have one of the best staffs that nobody talks about in the country. You have a deep quarterback room.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, you look at the depth at Texas. And you look at Xavier Worthy, you look at Jatavian Sanders, you look at Quinn Ewers, you look at the offensive line. I mean, Overshawn is a huge loss, but that defense is going to be really good.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't – that's probably a top 2, maybe 3 defense. That could be one of the best defenses in the conference.
Yeah, we're going to find out in week 2, right? When they play Alabama. Alabama.
And where is that? Thank you very much. That is, you're going to Tuscaloosa.
By the way,
but
it's not on Big 12 Network. It's on ESPN.
ESPN.
Just wanted to point that out for everyone.
Listen, I think it's going to be very interesting. The other question you're going to ask yourself is how much do you believe in Brett Venables? Well, because I think the folks in Norman are awfully impatient.
Yeah, I'd be pissed too. I mean, that's embarrassing.
Well,
dude.
but you should probably cover your ears for this part.
Here we go.
When you have a guy like Lincoln Riley take a guy like Caleb Williams and go to USC,
I know what time it is.
How are you going to win games? You're not going to win games.
Listen,
Brett Venables,
dude.
if Deion Sanders is set up to fail in Boulders, what was Brett Venables last year in Oklahoma?
Well, no doubt. But I think that the thing for those folks, Oklahoma fan, is it's not like, oh yeah, we wanted to win a natty after Lincoln left. That's not what people were saying. But you can't be embarrassingly bad. Like that's not going to work, dude.
I don't even disagree with that. But how many they lost so many dudes
bro, but look
last year.
at some of these. Like you lost to West Virginia last year, bro. Come on.
I think you have to give. And again, please, Oklahoma fan, don't circle the wagons around my house and don't freak out. Because every time I've said this on the show, Oklahoma fan comes out of the woodwork and loses their shit. It's not like groundbreaking or, hey, you're a hot take guy, fat ass. Well, not really. Fair. But again, I'll just say, don't you have to throw out last year and hit the reset button with Brett Venables this year? If you lose to
reset.
There are. If you lose to West Virginia this year, I agree. Fire his ass. Don't let him on the plane or the bus. He's done. He's done. Rip the OU off his chest and his hat and whatever.
It is what it is.
But that's not going to happen.
Better not, dude. Better not.
It will not happen. I think they are better. I think they have dominated in the transfer portal. I think Oklahoma is still destination football.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I think that you are.
I don't think anyone doubts the brand power of Oklahoma or the reputation of Oklahoma football. I mean, I don't think anyone doubts that. But But, you just look at some of these, just the way this season went down. Like, this is a good example. Like, you beat the living hell out of Nebraska last year, 49-14, and then you lose, 41-34 to K-State. So it's not like you got blown out, but you weren't really contending in that game. Like 55 to TCU, 55-24 to TCU, who inevitably turns out to be this amazing team. But that's rough.
They
dude.
got embarrassed a lot.
Yeah.
A lot. Nobody's gonna look back and say that the loss to West Virginia, but you just throw it all out, dude. You had terrible moments in time. You had like
losing to Texas Tech in OT 51-48 is not a bad loss.
But you weren't ill prepared. You weren't completely outcoached. That didn't happen at Oklahoma last year. You just didn't have the bros to compete. You didn't have the dudes. This year, you dominated the portal. You've got the dudes. I think that the real questions, if we're dollars to donuts between the Pac-12 and the Big 12, how far does TCU fall?
Yeah.
That's the single biggest question, because if we're looking at this conference outside in, you got to take Texas, right? I don't even think you have to put Texas on top.
Yeah.
That roster, the coaching staff, the depth, the offensive line.
You have to.
You've got to put Texas on top. But I think if we're being totally honest, I think TCU probably falls to 4 or 5. I think they do. What does Baylor do this year?
Yeah.
What K-State? K-State has lost a lot of talent. And I still think they're probably 3rd or 4th in the conference.
Yeah, I mean, TCU being 9-0 in conference last year is crazy, bro.
And there's no way that's happening again.
Bro.
There is no way that's happening again.
And really, like I look at Oklahoma, you're 3-6 in conference last year and made your bread out of conference. You look at, again, West Virginia, 3-6 in conference. Like Oklahoma just can't be that bad again. But
they can't.
Texas needs to be a 9-win team in conference. Absolutely. I mean, you have the talent. There's just no reason not to be. But again, I think that's why they're this team that is, first team all disappointment, right? Because they're every single year.
But can you really disappoint on your way out the door?
I mean, yeah, I think on some level, I think if you're a Texas fan, you're still saying, yeah, dude, we're on our way out the door, but we still have high expectations. I mean, you don't want to go into the SEC being a 7-win team. You don't want to go into the SEC that way.
But again, and I'm not trying to be an asshole about this. I'm just being, in all seriousness, if Texas were in the SEC, my guess is they're competing for a conference championship this year. That's how good I think Texas is.
Wow.
That's how talented I think Texas is.
Dude, that's a major statement, bro. I mean, they're going to have to show they're that good.
That roster is phenomenal.
That might be true, dude, but you're going to have to show, again, like, I don't know. They may have a great roster, but that's why everyone compares Texas and SC, and like they compare these teams that on paper are amazing, but inevitably never win that one game that you really want them to win, or they never edge out Texas Tech in overtime, or like they don't, win that one game where you're like, hey, dude, like this is a possession by possession game. We're going to the half and Texas is leading by 3. They really should win this game. Like they should be able to control the game, and good quarterback play and good running back play, and like they should be able to execute. But inevitably, what do we get? We get, hey, interception, fumble, big mistake, whatever. Like that ends up happening. So for me, yeah, I don't disagree. On paper, Texas is SEC good. But show me that on the field. Show me that you can be, if you're SEC good and you're in the Big 12, you should have 9 wins in conference. Like you should have 9 wins in conference, and you should steamroll your way into the playoff. I mean, that's the kind of season that Texas should have. And I do think they have the talent to produce that result. But again, it's Texas, so I'll believe it when I see it. Much like the Cowboys, Texas always has an amazing roster that can win a Super Bowl, but never seems to get past the NFC divisional round. That's the problem.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you. We find out week 2 at Bryant-Denny. We find out how good Texas is, because if you go in there and beat Alabama, who I think is going to be very good again, that's a huge tip of the cap. The question is, how much of a leash does Quinn Ewers have with Manning breathing down his neck? Because you can't tell me that the faithful in Austin don't want Manning starting at quarterback for as long as possible.
Isn't that so Texas? Isn't that Texas to a T as a brand?
Well,
dude, we've got a Lambo sitting on the bench waiting to get in the game, dude. Put me in the game, coach. I'm ready to go.
There's no doubt in my mind. And this is USC. This is Oregon. Oregon and Texas are
perfect example.
Oregon and Texas are almost always the same. Hey, they're really good. Hey, they're going to the Natty. Hey, they lost to your mom's sewing circle.
Oh, that's right. They went to Athens and got curb stomped. That's right, dude.
Right. Exactly. Oregon went to Athens, and they realized they weren't playing Pop Warner anymore. The same Friday Night Lights, right?
So do we get to say, hey, Texas went to Tuscaloosa and had a nice week, or do we get to say Texas went to Tuscaloosa and got torched?
I almost feel dumb saying this, so I am dumb.
Nick Saban is a better man than you are.
He's a better man than Sarkisian, but with this offensive line, with that kind of receiving talent at the wide receiver and the tight end, the depth at quarterback, their absolute speed on defense. Dude, if this isn't the year that Texas does it, and how fitting, though. How fitting would it be? Texas goes to Tuscaloosa. Mind you, on their way out of the Big 12 to the SEC, they go to Alabama and end the dynasty. Oh my God, that would be that Phyllis will roll in her grave.
Oh
dude.
Yeah, dude.
Like,
oh yeah, bro.
If Texas goes to Alabama and wins,
the dynasty is not over.
Hell yeah, it would be.
Kiss my butt.
Anyway,
how pissed off is Big 12 fan now? I don't even want to dip my toe in the water of the comment section.
But I'm serious. How far does TCU fall this year?
I think. I mean, again, what did they finish last year? What are they? A 12-win team last year? What was TCU?
I don't think it. This is so dangerous, and this is the Oklahoma argument. Forget about last year. Because, dude, you know how many important players, just star caliber players, are not at TCU anymore, and. Just forget about last year. It was magical. Duggan, and it was magical. It's over.
13 wins.
It's
2 losses.
I get it. They're not gonna. Do they win 9 games this year? Do they win 9 games this year? I'm telling you, looking at their, you have to. How do you replace Max Duggan? How do you even? Just say that out loud, and I think
Max Duggan.
I think you say out loud, Matt. How do you replace Max Duggan? And Sonny Dykes gets angina. I believe he has angina when he thinks about replacing Max Duggan.
Oh, imagine if you lost to Dion week 1 at home.
Yeah, well, but how many
10
plays
on Fox?
But you guys, how many plays did Quentin Johnston make?
Yeah.
How many? He made play after play. Your quarterback, oh my God, Miller. Your running back, your wide receiver, like you're losing. Dude, I'm telling you, they're not a double-digit win team. I think you look at their schedule. I'm telling you, I think they're an 8-9 win team, which is really good.
Yeah, Kendra Miller was a stud.
But that's my point. I'm not saying TCU's going to have a terrible season. They're not Oklahoma. They're West Virginia. No, none of that. But 8-9 wins after you win 13 games?
Can't back down.
You're gonna backslide. How can you not? Unless you're Kirby and Georgia, and you never backslide.
No, you're always going forward in your SRT, aren't you?
Okay. Wow. Had to go there. Had to go there. Maybe that's why at this juncture of the show you need some Bucked Up. Bucked Up Energy, the official energy provider of the Monty Show. You guys, I feel great because I just had a Buck Bar right before the show started, about 20 minutes, 30 minutes. Well, now it's 34 minutes into the show. So almost an hour ago now. I had a Buck Bar right before the show started. I feel great. I have all kinds of energy. And the thing I love about the Buck Bars, you guys, great ingredients, really nutritionally sound on the whole. They taste good. They're really kind of decadent is the word that comes to mind, but it's that treat that's really good for you because it's packed with protein, whey protein isolate, the best form of protein you can get. They sweeten it with natural things like dates. I love the Buck Bars. I want to give you a sampler pack of 6 for free. Go get them. It's in the description below. They'll send them right to your front door. I have always hated protein bars, and I know we all need them, right? I've always hated them until I found Bucked Up. And this new Buck Bar, which has only been on the market a couple of months, it has absolutely been a game changer for me. I tell you, every day I use their products. I had my protein shake this morning, had my collagen peptides. Nails are great, skin's great, hair's great, although I don't have much. But my point is, all their products work because they're solid ingredients. BuckedUp.com. Make sure you use the promo code Monty to get 20% off at checkout if you're in the great state of Utah. Go to any of their stores, say, hey, I heard about you on the Monty Show. They'll give you a free Bucked Up Energy drink, which, of course, as always, is 0 sugar. The white can's 100. The black can's 300 milligrams of caffeine. Hook it up. Miami's the best flavor.
Boom.
Bucked Up Energy. Whew. 34 minutes of terror talking about how good Texas should be.
And now we find out just how much smoke is in the comments.
Big Bad Brass Balls, who I believe was the first one in today.
This is either going to be excellent or not very good.
UT sucks, and BYU is winning the Big 12. So there.
Well,
listen, I mean, I know they found cocaine in the White House, and you're clearly sampling it. Yeah. So, I mean, it's okay. It's okay. You'll come back to reality at some point.
I mean, at some point. I mean, I don't know that that's today, but at some point.
Todd James says for $1.99, I'm a man, I'm 40. Go Pokes from OKC.
Well,
I'm a man.
Is Gundy coaching for his job?
So get your facts straight.
Because I think who's better than Oklahoma State? I think Kansas is better. I think Baylor's really interesting.
Baylor's just out to kick your ass physically. And if you can't handle that, they're going to beat you.
But are they anywhere near the 12-2 that they were in 2021?
I don't know about 12-2. I definitely think the top end, the top of the mountain, best you could ever do is probably 9, right? Like, if you're playing at Baylor. I mean, again, they're that team that prioritizes physicality. And then they're going to measure you. They're going to say, okay, first quarter, we're going to come out and kick your ass physically, and let's see what you do about it. And the teams that do nothing about it are going to get stopped.
Well, and they're going to go with Blake Shapen until he shows that he's the same guy he was last year. If they're not better in the red zone, Oklahoma State will be better. But right now I have to take Baylor over Oklahoma State. Mm-hmm. I think Kansas is better, as I said. I think Texas Tech is a top 3 team in this league this year. Obviously, they're going to have to play really well. I think Bradley's a huge player for them. On the outside, they've got to be explosive. They've got to be very good. I think he's got to break 800 yards this year.
Yeah.
For them to really be the best version of that air raid pew offense
right.
that I love so much. But I think Texas Tech is better than Okie State. I think TCU's better. I think Oklahoma's better. I think the real unknown in this league, in my opinion, is K-State.
Right.
Because I don't know what you make of them. Can they repeat? I'm really curious if K-State is him.
Yeah, I mean, I think K-State's that team that's always going to make your life really difficult when you play them. And I
would
think
agree
the thing
with
with K-State is that it's like this past year, like they were okay. I mean, they were that team that made your life difficult, but you never really felt like, hey, they're going to get over the top on us. They're gonna get over the hill and win this game. But they just grinded you out repeatedly, and so to me, I feel like this year, if they're going to be a better team, it's just about finishing for them, because they're going to be well coached, they're going to be in a good position, they're going to be in the position to make the play, but it's whether they make that play or not that really limits them.
I am probably delusional about Texas Tech.
Right.
But, man, I think they have a chance. They have a chance. They've got some consistency. Well, they've got some consistency. They've got some continuity. A lot of important players have been in the system for multiple years now.
Right.
I think this could be interesting. Spangler, what the heck is up with you, my guy? Being good has little to do with the value of your brand. Notre Dame is average. Please don't start talking about Notre Dame. I don't know what happened with Notre Dame on Twitter today. You guys, Notre Dame football is never going to the ACC.
No.
Stop asking me about it. I love that we tweet and what's the new? Oh, I love that we're on threads together.
Yeah, we're threading.
We're threading. Thank you.
Yeah, we're threading.
I love that we're threading, but please stop. Oh, hey, bro. Listen, I know as a recovering Catholic.
Guys.
Look, I understand. You altar boys are huge Notre Dame fans. They're not going to the ACC.
God bless.
They're not. No, Tebow.
God bless.
No,
God
they're
bless.
not going. They're not. If they're going to a conference, there's only one.
In God's name, image, and likeness.
2 letters and a number 1, the Big Ten. That would be the only conference they would join. And yes, there was a huge fight on Twitter about, hey, can they, listen, they're in the ACC, grant of rights, bitches. And it's like, listen, God's a Notre Dame fan. That's why they don't have a grant of rights for the Notre Dame football product.
Waves in opposition.
They're an independent in football. They can go wherever they want. But now is not the time.
No.
Now is not the time.
No.
I think if they were going to join the Big Ten, they would have done that already. Why wouldn't you have done that with the new deal? And I still maintain, and we've talked about this on the show ad nauseum, I still maintain that Notre Dame is the most valuable sports property as an independent at NBC.
Yeah.
I think they are more valuable than NBC's investment in the Big Ten, because when you put Notre Dame on, and if you re-sign Notre Dame, and I do think they get between 70 and 75 million from NBC.
Right.
I think when you re-sign that deal, you can start matchmaking late night games between Notre Dame and USC on NBC in prime time. That's massive TV audience.
Yeah.
Massive. And if you can matchmake, because you're going to be able to leverage as a TV partner, you're going to have some say in the schedule. If you're leveraging Notre Dame and Ohio State, if we can get Notre Dame and Michigan back on the schedule, why wouldn't we do that?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't we do that? Oh, by the way, they don't have to join the Big Ten to do that, because they're in bed with the Big Ten's TV partner at NBC. And what's good for NBC is also good for Fox. And what's good for Fox is good for the Big Ten. It's all this incestuous circle that does not require Notre Dame to marry up to the Big Ten if they don't want to.
Yeah.
Now, I think their life would become much easier if they joined a conference and all of a sudden now you have SC, Ohio State, Michigan, Notre Dame, and oh my God, if you add Oregon and Washington, now it becomes really valuable for Notre Dame to become a member of the Big Ten. But until all that changes, they're not going to join the Big Ten when they're going to get 70 to 75 million from NBC. And I honestly, I don't think that's that big of a stretch. And I know that there are people out there. I talked to a guy in the TV industry today who said the NBA contract for NBC is already done. The NBA wants back on NBC. NBC wants back on the NBA. That is one of the things I hope people understand. The NBA has a pipeline of advertisers already. So, hey, if you're a TV partner with the NBA, you're probably getting T-Mobile. You're probably getting Kia. You're probably getting the branded partners of the NBA. That's why it's so good to be in business. And people talk about, ESPN struggling. Why would they renew the NBA for, I think it's $5 billion a year? Because they're making that at a minimum with the baked-in $5 billion. And they're making that already with the baked-in advertisers that the NBA brings to the table.
Yeah.
For people like us, we're playing with dollar bills. They're playing with $1 million bills, right? They're in a different stratosphere. So while we think $5 billion a year on NBA content seems outrageous, it's really not. So $75 million a year at NBC, when you have baked in Notre Dame partners who are going to support that product on NBC because they want Michigan, they want USC. And you look at Notre Dame's schedule, come on, man.
Yeah.
That is a really good product. You look at the game in Vegas last year with BYU. The Catholics versus the Mormons was incredibly profitable for everybody involved. You know how hard it was to get a ticket to that game?
Yeah.
Let alone the TV audience? It's crazy to me. And I say this, and thanks a lot, Spangler. Lighting the world on fire. Anyway,
Okay, that's enough. Stop, please.
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 Jeremy Callahan, Texas will lose in Ames in November. That's almost a given. My God, would that be terrible? Saul Goodman says cow turd.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Mm-hmm.
The eclectic cowboy.
Cow turd.
Why did you change the subject to Texas instead of how great the PAC is relative to the Big 12? You know, we struggle to write English in this show. I'll get on our editors and the people who don't actually exist.
Filling in for somebody.
Yeah, we'll
out of here.
Yeah, we'll put them on paper. We'll write them up for changing that title. Terrible. Jake, remind me to have a team meeting tomorrow.
I will. I'll get the Google Calendar invite sent out. You know,
all two of us.
Right.
Confirm. Monty likes Texas's tight ends. Tell me what's not to like.
Well,
in all seriousness, have you guys seen Jatavian Sanders? Do you guys know who that is? Like he and that.
Again, last name is Sanders. Just saying.
The offensive line at Texas. I mean, I think it's going to be very difficult for them not to have one of the best passing offenses in the country.
What do you bench?
It's going to be really difficult because you have a far more experienced, cohesive, chemistry-built offensive line.
Yep.
And in college football, man, you cannot put a price tag on that.
Nope.
That is usually a ticket to a couple of games in January of consequence. And if you have the quarterback talent, the wide receiver talent, the tight end talent, the offensive line talent, and a defense that does nothing but run fast, dude, they're going to struggle to lose games.
Yes.
They should. But to your point, Sarkisian always finds a way.
Y'all feel me?
And maybe this is a year he doesn't.
Maybe that's his biggest credit. Always finds a way to get the job done of disappointing.
What do you mean I skipped your comment?
Oh, God, here we go.
Mike Rayner says Texas looks good every year. Bryce Martin, would you say if TCU makes a college, what would you say if TCU makes a college football playoff again? Just put Sonny Dykes in bronze and put him in the Hall of Fame.
Yep.
They lost a lot, but they replaced with quality talent. Yeah, but the problem is at the top of the Big 12.
Yeah.
You have, again, with Texas, not to keep going back to Texas, but you have a program at Texas that didn't lose a lot, and what they lost, they upgraded. And what they lost, they gained in continuity on the offense.
Right.
And I think another year for Ewers in that system, the competition he had to go through with Arch Manning, and you look at the fan support that Manning had, and they still gave him the job.
Right.
And I think it was the right decision based on everything I heard, saw, and read. Seems like the right decision. Because when he was healthy, which I get it, he wasn't, and maybe he won't be healthy this year. I don't know. But when he was healthy, he was actually effective.
Yeah.
And now you have better weapons and more experience. And who are we kidding? When you have the defense and the offense that Texas has, do you know how hard it is to coach that and be successful? Man. That's why guys like Saban are legends.
Yes.
Because you have that kind of talent on both sides of the ball every single year, and the pressure doesn't mean a thing to you.
Nick Saban is a better man than you are.
If you look at all of the coaches who have failed to live up to the expectations of their talent and their rosters, that's a story that replays itself every single year in multiple programs.
You view this season as a failure?
Yeah, probably dozens of programs. But guys like Saban and guys like Kirby and guys like Purvin, guys like, name, image, and likeness. Like you look at the best coaches, they don't feel pressure.
Ryan
Day, I agree with you. Replacing Purvin Meyer, do you know how difficult that is, especially with hot blondes at Urban Sports Bar?
We built this program on NIL.
He's handled it. And not my favorite guy right there has also handled it.
Kind of like Purvin did.
But look at Kyle Whittingham.
Yeah.
Kyle Whittingham's defense every single year is expected to be elite.
Yep.
And it is.
Be elite and put guys in the league.
And they do. Right? Like again, Dalton Kincaid is probably the best example of this. We were talking to a guy here in our office today.
Yeah.
About Dalton Kincaid. And you look at what if Brant Keithy does not get hurt last year?
Dude, sky's the limit, bro. Sky's the limit.
Does anybody know the name Dalton Kincaid? Well, yeah, in the conference maybe. Like, he was a good number 2 option. He ain't going in the NFL draft.
No.
Right? Like, but he did. And what happened? Dalton Kincaid was ready to step up.
Yep.
He was ready to step up, and he did.
Your coaching staff does a great job.
And they don't feel pressure.
Yeah.
You don't feel pressure. Greg Swaim, back again, says, just can't get fooled again on Texas until they actually do something several years in a row. Dude, here, I agree. I see all the comments on Texas.
Look, I don't think there's anything wrong with talking about Texas's potential. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I mean, again,
something we do every year, man.
Yeah, dude. I mean, Texas, Dallas Cowboys, Victor Wembanyama in San Antonio. Like, the state of Texas is notorious for telling you they're the best and absolutely showing up empty-handed on Thanksgiving. I mean, that's what they do. That is their brand. So I don't think there's anything wrong with talking about potential. But again, I'm with the old Swaimster here and everyone else.
The Swaimster.
Bro, got to show me before I believe. Seeing is believing, as they say, right? So Texas needs to show me that they can get it done before I'm like, yeah, Texas is a great team.
Yeah, I agree. And I think it's one of the reasons I'm really excited to be at Big 12 Media Day next week. It's going to be fantastic. Big 12 Media Day on Wednesday and Thursday, presented by Big 12 Media Day. Hello? All right, take 2. Really excited to be at Big 12 Media Day next Wednesday and Thursday, presented by our good friends at BladeHQ.com. And you guys just open up the website right now as we sit here and talk about it, because their daily deals are really spectacular. They have 25% off on a lot of their products on a pretty regular basis. And you know about BladeHQ.com because you get the best knives from the best knife brands. And whether that is We Knife or ProTech or Kershaw, Spyderco, obviously, Benchmade, like all the best brands, all the best blades, you get that, right? But you also get tomahawks. You also get batons. You also get outdoor gear, everything you need. Whether it is very simple, a simple carabiner, whether it is, a flashlight, a lantern, backpacks, whatever you need to be an outdoor survivalist, you've got it at BladeHQ.com. They're a great local company. I know Mark and his team. I've been dealing with them now for well over a month on this Big 12 project, and they are just really good people to work for, really good people to work with. And as a customer, I cannot tell you how committed to service BladeHQ.com is. Go check them out right now. Tell them you heard about it on the Monty Show. BladeHQ.com. Free shipping on all of your orders over $99 at BladeHQ.com, who presents our coverage of Big 12 Media Day next week in, let's get it right.
Yeah, don't mess this up.
Tarrant County, boys. Them boys in Dallas, they're all hat, no cattle over here.
All hat, no cattle.
Over here in Arlington, we're the real deal.
My word.
Stairs, boy. Anyway, we'll be at AT&T Stadium, which, by the way, this trip has gotten redonkulously expensive.
Yeah, dude, and we're not even golfing on this trip, which is absolutely outrageous.
Golf was included in that. I was going to surprise you in golf by myself. But we're going to have to go have some nice meals.
Yeah.
That we have to pay $2,000 for an internet connection at AT&T Stadium. The internet
I thought you said it was $2,000
for 2 days of internet.
Bro, what are you talking about, man?
$2,000 for 2 days of internet in Dallas next week. No, you guys, I said $2,000.
Bro, it's ridiculous,
Not
man.
two. I said $2,000. Dude.
That's a straight pipe job,
It hurts
bro.
my head.
That's
so
a pipe job.
Please hit the like button
Please tip us,
if you
please.
feel so inclined. Please tip
Bro.
us. We're begging you. No, I'm kidding. But it's crazy. It is absolutely crazy. Christopher Shannon. In a hole-in-the-wall place called Jarrah World.
Yeah, you know, just some hole-in-the-wall, little place down by the border.
Going to be down in that convention center down there in Tarrant County.
Yeah.
I think they call it Jarrah World.
Yeah, where they circumcised skeeters.
Mark Ruckert says final Big 12 standings will be determined by 40% talent, 30% coaching, 25% luck, and 10% the schedule draw.
Man, you're a big percentages guys, my man.
I don't know. I got to take my socks off. Does that add up to? That doesn't add up to 100, my man. That's 70. It's like 95. Okay, we'll move on now. Jeff Seal.
I don't know. I don't know if. I don't know quite. I don't quite know how to answer that. To be honest.
Jeff Seal says everything is bigger in Texas, including the bill. Yes. Sean Mirzinski, my guy. What's up, Mirzinski? Wait, what? 2,000 might as well give you a hotel room for the night.
That's what I'm saying,
Nah, bro,
dog.
we don't even get a reach around for that.
How?
Oh my God. Cougar Tracks says, with all your cattle money is nothing. Exactly.
Oh.
All that cattle money, boy. I love in Texas, you roll up to Texas and they're like, hey, boy. And then they're like, spit. Nope, not doing it. All right, let's safely move on to B, who says, welcome to Jerry's World. Things get pretty expensive, dude.
It's ridiculous, bro.
Mark Ruckert says, make that 5% schedule draw. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Cowboy Country, what's up, my guy? OK State doesn't have to play Texas Tech, Baylor, or TCU. They'll finish at least 8-4 or 9-3. Well, you would hope so. Mike Rayner, wait till you see what it costs for parking. Yeah.
Dude.
All right, all the Big 12 media conglomerates over here. $1,000 parking bill.
Bro.
Day one.
How dare you?
All right, right this way. Day one. Nice rental car. All
Back
right.
of the envelope calculations.
$1,000 for that Kia.
Yeah,
all right.
you didn't do back of the envelope calculations budgeting for the trip, did you? Jesus.
Saul Goodman, Texas. All oil, no engine. Exactly.
Dude, that's
right.
what I'm saying, bro.
And it's motor, not engine.
Yeah, it's
please.
a motor, please.
It's a
Thank
motor.
You. Thank you.
Thank you very much. My God.
Thank you.
Let's see. Scott of Graywater. If you move here, we give you a fishing pole and a shotgun. Yeehaw. So
Does that help me get internet easier?
No, but that means you get the fish on the hook and then you blow its brains out. Don't need those. Try not to hit him in the eyes. Those are good seasoning in fiber. Jedi Master, Texas may start strong, but will choke as they always do. I don't think so. I think this is the year of years.
I am your father.
I know. I am naive. I get it. But I'm telling you.
Well, you and Jerry have something in common then. This is the year.
How hard are you guys going to come down on me when Texas loses to, like, Waxahachie State Beauty Institute?
Bro.
Like, see,
it's ridiculous.
We told you. We warned you, Monty.
It's really despicable.
We warned you.
It's true.
I'm telling you, Texas has the cattle this year.
Right.
Texas has the cattle. Roche, is the shotgun for the fish too? Yeah, man, but BB guns. My mom, quick story. My mom slapped the back of my, I forgot about this. I was so proud. I pulled a fish out of the Des Plaines River. There's an area where the river comes together and it kind of like pools. And there's a bunch of fish in that pool. I pulled a fish out of that water. And I put a BB into the side of that fish. And my mother did not appreciate that. She hit me in the back of the leg with a wiffle ball bat.
Damn.
And that was punishment enough. I never fished again. Yeah, that did not go over well at Casa de Monte.
Bro.
My mother was not amused.
That's rough.
I shot a fish with a pellet gun, a BB gun. Stupid Keith Horowitz had. We got in so much trouble with that kid.
Yeah.
Anyway, the point is, I shot him with a BB gun, and my mother was like, dude, that hurt. Yeah. I can, all right. OG Gary says, A&M in Texas always have mad hype. But see, Jimbo's that guy, though. Jimbo never is able to bring. How many times have been like, oh, Jimbo's got the class this year, guys. It's over. College Station, bitches. And then they never win anything and they don't develop their talent.
Yeah.
That's Jimbo Fisher.
Yeah.
That's Jimbo Fisher.
You fucking donkey.
Exactly right. Midnight Magic says, you're telling me y'all never been fishing with dynamite? Exactly.
Nah, dog.
Exactly right. Never been fishing with dynamite. But I have been fishing with the calzones from Papa Murphy's Pizza, tell me, just tell me now that you have had a Papa Murphy's calzone.
At Papa Murphy's, we do more than just pizza. We do calzones.
Papa Murphy's does calzones?
Oh, I think you mean I do the calzones.
And how do you do it, Dad?
How do I do it? How do I do it?
Oh, well, we do it with fresh ingredients and hand-shredded cheese tucked in a scratch-made dough.
That's how, honey.
At Papa Murphy's, we make great pizza.
You don't forget the calzones.
Order now at papamurphys.com.
Papa Murphy's Pizza, the official pizza of the Monty Show. I'm telling you, here's your order, man. Download the Papa Murphy's mobile app. How do you not like calzones, first of all?
Yeah.
Download the mobile app. Order the calzones. Order the marinara meatballs. You eat them together. You pour the marinara meatballs on top of the calzone. That's how you order the calzone, right? But are you more of a pizza guy or a calzone guy? Are you more of a meatball sandwich or a calzone guy?
Well, I think I'd probably have to go calzone. So I haven't had the great pleasure of having a smoked calzone yet from good old Papa Murphy's, but I have baked it and I have air fried it, and I must say the air fryer was outstanding.
If you air fry a calzone, I think you instantly become a man. And I could be wrong. Oh, there it is. Cowboy country. I could be wrong. But I believe that when you air fry a calzone, you grow hair on your chest.
I'm a man.
Now, I wouldn't let your wife do it because, well, for obvious reasons.
Right.
I believe air frying, I know we've talked about it on this show. Air frying is massively underrated.
Yeah.
Massively underrated. You air fry a calzone, dude, which, by the way, and I somebody said, it's just a Hot Pocket. No, it's not.
No, it is not just a Hot Pocket. Get the hell out of here with that garbage-ass take. This thing is like 18 Hot Pockets together, bro.
Dude,
all
it's amazing.
Fresh ingredients, fresh dough, not processed. Like, dude, get the hell out of here.
Yes. Jeff, hey, Todd James, new member of the program.
Let's go, baby.
Let's go, Todd James. Appreciate you, my guy. Thank you very much. Jeff Woodworth says Traeger a calzone.
That's what I mean, dude.
Yes, sir. Saul Goodman, calzone stromboli. Exactly. Shannon, meatball sandwich. Yes. I love a good meatball sandwich, but it's tough to beat a calzone.
Yeah.
Matt Ritson, calzone with Italian sausage and mushrooms.
Dude.
Let's go.
Where's the Italian?
Jeremy Callahan, I fully condone smoking the calzone.
That's what I'm saying, dude.
Got to watch that wrapping paper. Callahan says, I cook about 90% of everything in the air fryer. What can you not cook in an air fryer? I've done lasagna, wings, fries, taquitos, mini tacos for the Super Bowl. I don't know that there's anything you can make.
There's
you
not
can
a
make
lot of limitations, bro.
You can make scrambled eggs. If you've never made scrambled eggs in an air fryer,
dude.
Good.
Yep.
There's not a whole lot you can't make.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, it's amazing. Kay Nurin, my money is on primetime 6 and 6.
Nah, dude.
Just take a dice and AC, okay? Just relax.
Ooh.
Dude, you've been on that coke.
Yeah, maybe. Let's see. Saul Goodman says Gilstrap. Where's Gilstrap been?
Is there a Gilstrap sighting?
There's not. I don't know how to say your name. Fed Bear.
Okay, that's just known as the Fed.
All right, the Fed says it's just a fancy schmancy Hot Pocket.
No, it's not.
Dude.
No, it's not.
There's Gilstrap. Hey, Gilstrap.
Yeah, Gilstrap. Get your ass in here.
Fucking Gilstrap.
Yeah.
Jeremy Callahan, scrambled eggs, yes. Cougar Tracks, you can make soup. No. Yes, you can. I didn't say it'd be pretty. You don't cook ice cream, Roche.
Bro.
Dude, don't start.
This place is empty. The opposite of full.
OG Gary, not liking calzones is a divorce breakup worthy red flag.
Yeah,
I'm here for it.
You're un-American if you don't like a calzone, dude. It's literally air-fried pizza dough, calzone dough, whatever, with a bunch of stuff in the middle with cheese. How do you not like that?
That's what I'm saying.
And we haven't even gotten to the idea, which is your idea, mind you, of putting the marinara meatballs on top of the calzone. Like, come on, dude. It's undefeated.
Rod Nolan, what brand of air fryer are you rocking? I have the Super Ninja. Ooh, I wanted a Super Ninja, but I have a Black & Decker.
Okay.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good. It is pretty good. Papa Murphy's Pizza, the official pizza of the Monty Show. Presented by The Advocates, theadvocates.com, the best injury attorneys in the business. Good to be in business with good people. I say it every day, you guys, that you need good people around you in your worst moments. And I think if you've ever been in an accident, a car accident, a bicycle accident, you know we're out and about. And you know that in the summertime, there's more distracted driving than ever. You didn't deserve to get hit by that guy who was looking at his phone. You didn't deserve to get hit by that guy who wasn't giving you the room on your bicycle or your motorcycle that you need and you deserve and you've earned by law, right? Well, you didn't deserve to get injured. But you do deserve an advocate to fight for you, to help you take the stress off your plate, to do things like, hey, we're going to defer those medical bills. We're going to get you your back pay. We're going to get you compensation. And oh, by the way, you never reach into your pocket to pay the advocates. You only pay the advocates if and when they win your case. You get a settlement, that's when you pay the advocates. You don't reach in your pocket, scratch a check. No, you can talk to them live online right now at theadvocates.com. Anywhere you are, theadvocates.com. Hit the chat with a lawyer right now button for free. No consultation fees or retainers. Not at the Advocates because you don't pay them until they win your case. Theadvocates.com. Make sure you tell them you heard about it on the Monty Show. All right, I want to talk about this San Diego State situation because this is crazy.
Yeah.
So you know pretty much as a public institution that any written correspondence is essentially susceptible to the Freedom of Information Act. And you know that San Diego State wrote letters to the conference, the Mountain West. But now we find out that somehow, some way, and again, just like we started out the show, I ask you, is Adela Della Torre, the president at San Diego State, in or over her head? She writes a letter that we've all seen now. And then after sending it, realizes that she did not mark it confidential. So she reaches back out to the Mountain West Conference and Commissioner Navarez and says, hey, can you please keep this confidential? Please don't allow your presidents to share it with their athletic directors. Well, dude, horse is out of the barn, kids. And now we have copies of that letter because Adela Della Torre did not tell the Mountain West to keep it confidential. So, in fact, it was shared to most of the athletic directors in the conference. It was a public piece of information that was given to the media, rightfully so. Jake, is Adela Della Torre, the president at San Diego State, capable of doing the job?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not quite sure. I mean, this is a pretty... This coming out, this detail of what happened here, this coming out, I think is a pretty shocking development, mainly because as part of the process, when you send a letter like this, because San Diego State's a public institution, you have to put confidential on the correspondence so that it's basically illegal or you're not allowed to share that information because you marked it confidential. So by not doing that, you basically open this huge can of worms to the whole process. And so you then not only do that, you put your commissioner of the conference in a position where she's got to go and put out a communication letter, basically, a piece to the conference, privately saying, hey, please don't share this with your athletic directors. And if you have, you need to inform them they are not allowed to put this out into the media. And if you have not shared the letter with your athletic directors, I would advise you do not send them the letter until this process is completed. Only keep them updated verbally. So is Adela Della Torre capable of doing the job? I mean, I guess, but there's been some shocking missteps here. So the idea that the conference is going to cut you some slack after you put them in this kind of position is absolutely incredible that you would ask that, on top of just the idea that you would send the letter in the first place.
This is the letter on the screen, obviously, as you guys are well aware. This is the letter on the screen, and it's not marked confidential. It straight up says, Dear Mountain West Conference and all members. There is nowhere in this letter that it says confidential. In fact, when you remove the banner and you can see that athletic director is readily available in the phone number. San Diego State's been honored to have been a founding member of the conference. This was a Dear John letter. This was, hey, yeah, we're out, guys. Like, it's been fun, but we're leaving. And then when you realize that you were doing that, then you called in a panic and tried to hide it. I continue to be shocked and stunned by this. It's why I when I look at all the criticism that San Diego State has taken, it's justified. When I look at everybody saying, oh, this is just the Pac-12 doing more BS to – no, it's not. No, it's not. This is San Diego State not understanding the process. They were not capable of swimming in this deep water, and so now they're drowning in it. And the biggest issue is it's a bad look for the Pac-12. There's no way to get away from the fact that this is just more bad news for the conference.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way to get away from the fact that this is a bad look for San Diego State, and it's all self-inflicted. And so all this heat and all this damage that's being done to the Mountain West, and people saying that Gloria Nevarez is somehow holding, San Diego State, on their cross, and no, she's not. She's doing her job to protect the best interests of the Mountain West Conference, and I would expect her to do nothing less than that.
Yep.
The Mountain West has been for a long time a very good partner to San Diego State. To show up now and write this letter, then deny the contents of the letter, then deny that you were leaving the conference, then ask for a payment plan and a delay, and now you're trying to take it all back? And it's all public, and you now won't come out and defend your conference or its commissioner? It's a bad look for San Diego State. It's poor form. It's poor business practices. And the worst thing about it? It's just bad ethics. It's terrible ethics. And it makes Adela de la Torre, the president of San Diego State, and to a similar but less extent, J.D. Wicker, the athletic director at San Diego State, it makes you look small. It makes you look petty. And worst of all, again, it makes you look incompetent in a community in San Diego that's gone through so much bullshit with sports and athletics, whether it's the Chargers, whether it's all the threats of leaving, whether it's Snapdragon or Jack Murphy or the Murph or Qualcomm or all of that. This just piles on top of the fact that San Diego has a reputation of being a terrible sports town.
Yeah.
And frankly, it's not. They have great fans who support their teams when their teams are competent. But you couldn't beat San Diego State and couldn't beat Fresno State in football last year. Fresno State is the Mountain West champion. Now, nobody might know that, right? But how is San Diego State at least not competent in football? Well, maybe now we're starting to know, because their hiring practices certainly must be not great when you look at the way they can't even write a letter and follow a process that is in black and white with partners who have been really good to them. I put 100% of this dumpster fire on San Diego State.
Yeah, and I think the other part of it is, too, is like if we just look at the letter itself, like, set the confidential, not confidential thing aside. I mean, you sent a letter that is an exit letter. This letter wasn't written with the intent of like, hey, we're like, nowhere in the letter does it say, hey, we're considering leaving. Hey, we're looking at our options. Whatever nomenclature or verbiage you want to use to basically say you're looking at leaving the conference and you have some questions. That's not what this letter was, even though you characterized it as that. And that's what's incredible. Like, that was, if you guys remember, that was the first issue. That they sent this letter, and then they tried to turn it into, well, we didn't leave the conference. We didn't provide notice.
Me?
Yeah, we didn't do that. We were just asking some
we
questions.
We were just having a conversation.
Even though we said at the end of this letter that it was a pleasure to be part of the conference and be a founding
member.
Right? Like, even though you said, like, hey, like, we're going to copy all the presidents. Like, you didn't. You followed a protocol and then instantly regretted sending your text message, if you will. Like, it's incredible to me that an institution like San Diego State has this type of leadership, to which I say, damn, you would be a good fit in the Pac-12, because this type of thing would not surprise me out of a Pac-12 school. We're seeing it at Washington State.
I think it's hugely disappointing, dude. I think, and again, one more point about this letter. Look at the Dear John part of it. Dear Mountain West Conference and all members. Do you guys understand that the requirement to leave the conference in process is that you put it in writing to the commissioner and all the presidents?
Because it's all part of the plan.
So when you know that, and they write, Dear Mountain West Conference and all members, do you think that's accidental? And then when the last paragraph is San Diego State is honored to have been a founding member of the Mountain West for 25 years. We wish to transition in a manner that is fair and equitable to all involved. So you are leaving the conference. No. Like, you were leaving the conference. That's the worst part. If you would just own your mistake, the problem's not the problem. The way you handle the problem is the problem. And it's remarkable to me how poorly this has gone.
Well, yeah, and I think if you're the Pac-12, like, obviously you have bigger fish to fry right now with the media rights deal and your grants of rights, but looking at expansion opportunities, San Diego State is very lucky with where they're located. Because if you had done, like, if SMU had done something like this, or if Tulane or whoever the hell you want to look at as an expansion candidate had done this, dude, that's your ass, man. This is an embarrassing situation, and I still contend that San Diego State is only a viable option because they're in San Diego. I mean, that's as simple as it is.
Yeah, because I think this is a really bad look. Really bad look. By the way, thank you to Gilstrap.
Let's go, baby.
Hey, Gilstrap gave away 5 gifted memberships.
Let's go, Gilstrap.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Kyle J, Tim Cox.
I'm sorry, I thought you said dude's name was Tim Cox.
I did, amongst others. By the way, Mrs. Monty has written in via text message today to inform me that we have a Cuisinart air fryer, not Black & Decker.
Wow.
Okay. And thank God we clarified that. It is.
Here I am.
She's totally right, too. It's a Cuisinart. But Black & Decker makes a really good air fryer.
Yeah.
They do. Let's see. OG Gary says, idiot governance of San Diego State.
That's what
Seriously.
I mean, dude. How, bro?
Seriously. C. Kaufman, I don't understand why she would even send that letter in the first place. They had not received an invite from the Pac-12. And what the common belief is, and I've heard this 10 times from people we've spoken to, the common belief is there was a conversation between San Diego State and the Pac-12 that was ongoing, right? Because we already know as well, and I think we broke it on this show, but everybody ran with it.
Yeah.
San Diego State and the Big 12 had long-form conversations about what their relationship could look like. And San Diego State straight up told the Big 12, hey, we prefer to be in the Pac-12 for the betterment of our student athletes and all of those involved from a travel aspect alone. Makes perfect sense. Makes perfect sense. But what we also know is that San Diego State in the Pac-12 had conversations about that same thing. Well, hey, what would our relationship look like? And I think what happened is this Pac-12 TV deal drug on so long, and it put San Diego State in a panic state. I honestly think that's what this was. Well, I know we don't have a written invitation, but, I mean, they're going to get a media deal, and the Mountain West is going to let us out. We're not going to pay that. We'll make a payment plan. Come on, we can afford the nice new Cadillac. $1,000 car payment a month.
Is this the dagger?
That's what this feels like. They got scared. They panicked. They put this letter out, and they're like, whoa, hey. No media deal. No media deal. No media deal. No media deal.
Mm-hmm.
Now here we are a week before the deadline. San Diego State writes this letter and sends it in. Oh, my God, it's going to get out. It's going to get out. Like, they just panicked. It's pure incompetence.
Yeah.
Pure incompetence. And by the way, you're disrespecting the Mountain West, who's treated you really well, facilitated for you really well, helped you to the point where your basketball team went to the championship game, the men's basketball championship game. How bad of a partner could the Mountain West be? You got money hungry. You saw dollar signs, and then you panicked when you realized you were over your ski tips.
Yeah, grass was greener on the other side until it wasn't.
Yeah, until you got over there and you saw the pea stains from Kliavkock, right? Like it wasn't actually that green. And, oh, by the way, I still maintain, you know what the best solution here is? For the Mountain West and the Pac-12 to merge and everybody goes about their business.
Yes.
That's the best solution. Because, again, today is July 6th and we still don't have a deal. We still don't have a deal.
I know, that's shocking. TV, they don't have a deal yet. We're shocked.
Callahan says, as soon as the Pac left San Diego State hanging, that would have been the last straw for me if I were a Pac-12 president AD. I don't think that you can, how do you now? The Pac-12 is in a really weird spot with San Diego State. How do you not add them? How do you not add them? I have no idea.
I just think you have to overlook the whole thing if you're the Pac-12. You just have to kick it under the rug, pretend it didn't happen, because ultimately the Pac-12 doesn't have any connection to San Diego State's problems. There's nothing binding, nothing that says they got to do anything or pay anything.
None.
They're not in the Comcast situation with San Diego State. They're not in the Holiday Bowl situation with San Diego State. So that's why I say, if you're the Pac-12, your sole focus is the grant of rights, is the media deal, and getting those two things taken care of. And then you can move on to expansion. And once you move on to expansion, then I think you would have hoped that this San Diego State story kind of blew over. But if we keep getting details about the fact that Adela Del Torre has no idea how to type confidential on an email that should be confidential, that's just a bad look, man.
How do you add, if you are the Pac-12, how do you add San Diego State? Oh, wait. How do you not add? Oh, wait. You have no choice.
Ducking, no smoke.
Yeah, dude, but you just got to erase this from your memory.
Can't back down.
You have to add San Diego State. It has to. You cannot survive without them.
And there's nothing you can do to me to make me do it.
What do you do? And if you're the Mountain West, do you really try to keep? If you can keep San Diego State, is there any question you do? If you're the Mountain West.
I think you want to, but I also think that when you do things like San Diego State has done, that's going to hurt your relationships in the conference. You look like an idiot. You look like a fool.
Yeah. And you know what? I also think that there is a, goddamn, look at Boss Frog giving us a $200 tip.
Bro, thank you, man.
Boss, appreciate that. You guys have been great to listen to. Enjoy Bob's Steak and Chop House on me next week in Dallas. Consider it done.
Thank you, dude.
That's really flattering. I appreciate you doing that.
Text me the name of that place because I don't want to forget that.
Yeah, no, we absolutely.
What is it?
Bob's Steak and Chop House.
Okay, let me look this up real quick.
Yeah,
Not trying to derail.
Let's look it up. Bob's Steak and Chop House.
Bob's Steak and Chop House.
Appreciate that very much.
Okay,
Thank
it comes
you.
right up, so that's a good sign.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
First thing you see is a martini on the website.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Tomahawk. Okay.
All right, we're going to make a reservation as soon as the show's over. I'm telling you. Mark, whoa. Big, okay, that was awkward. Mark 324, hi, guys. Go to Bob's in Plano. Ask for the GM, Silvio. Okay, we'll do it. We will absolutely do it.
So Plano.
In Plano. Brass Balls says, way to show us all up, Boss Frog. Exactly.
Damn right.
Bryce Martin, it's so good. You guys have to try it. Cougar Tracks, Meals and Wheels. Absolutely.
That's right.
Absolutely. We will do that. Love it. I appreciate it. Man, dude, thank you. That's really flattering. When you guys, and I think you guys know this, I say it on the show all the time, but when you hit the like button, that's such a compliment for us. When you give us a $2, let alone $200, that's a huge compliment to us.
I appreciate you, man.
And we really appreciate it. It is really that's huge that you would do that. So thank you so much, and we'll make some social comment at the Chop House. Absolutely.
We will go there for you.
Bob's Steak and Chop House. Done when we are at Big 12 Football Media Days next week. Reminder, we'll be live Wednesday and Thursday at AT&T Stadium in Arlington for Big 12 Football Media Days presented by our friends at BladeHQ.com. BladeHQ.com, the best knives by the best knife makers. Make sure you give us a shout out when you shop. Drop them a line. Say, hey, appreciate you guys supporting the Monty Show. We love our guys at BladeHQ.com. All right, talking about San Diego State. John Coy says Pac-12 in trouble, and they deny it. I don't know that they're in trouble. The question is, define trouble. Are they going out of business? They're not. Are they going to fold? They're not. Are they going to be the same conference that they are today in 6 weeks? They're not, probably. Because I still maintain that they're going to lose a couple of teams. My guess is that's Arizona and Colorado. But the narrative has changed so much. And I'll be honest with you as well. We're in the sourcing business on this show.
Yeah.
The Pac-12 has locked that shit down. Like you're not hearing from ADs in text or phone calls. You're not hearing from, notice you haven't heard from a president in 2 weeks. Now, some of that is there's a number of them that are out of the office now.
As we said they would be.
Right? You're in the summer break window. And these are not people that are like, oh, yeah, I'm just going to be at the house kicking it, watching, reruns of Chicago PD. These are people that go on sabbaticals. They go with Aaron Rodgers into the darkness, right? So I think there's some of that. But it is eerily quiet. And again, our sources have told us they have the TV deal. They know what it is. And they are trying to get their grant of rights done. And I think one of the reasons we've heard so often is that we won't get a deal until the week before Pac-12 Football Media Day is because most people are not around to finish negotiations.
Yeah.
All I can tell you is what we've heard. Sources in the conference have told us that Ion Scripps is not involved.
Mm-hmm.
We have heard all kinds of tweet chatter about, hey, it's a regional deal. Well, the only way it's a regional deal is if the CW's involved. And we told you exclusively on the show back in February now, I guess it is.
Yeah.
When we were talking to really well-placed sources at the CW. Well, hey, the CW isn't going to give them Chicago, New York, Miami.
Nope.
They're not going to give them Dallas and their big O&Os. They're going to give them west of the Rockies. And the problem is they don't have O&Os in Seattle, and they don't have O&Os in Arizona. They have affiliates, and those same affiliates are largely the ones that walked away from CBS and won't take Live Golf. And when they do take Live Golf, they quite literally cut it off this past weekend. I think it was 7 CW affiliates turned off Live Golf for, oh my God, the show that we joke about, Little House on the Prairie. The CW, some of its affiliates, turned off Live Golf's last event to make sure they got the full episode of Little House on the Prairie.
Bro.
And those are the people that you want to put Pac-12 football on, and you want to trust them with Saturday afternoon programming, 3 o'clock in the afternoon Pacific time. Yeah, Charles in Charge does really well for us. We're going to have to cut this off in the third quarter.
Yeah, nobody in Boston gives a damn about the Oregon game, bro. Sorry.
But not even Boston. The problem is west of the Rockies. You're in the Pac-12 footprint. Yeah. You in Seattle and in the state of Arizona, and I believe it's the entire state of Washington.
Mm-hmm.
The CW does not own a station. They have affiliates who say, we'll take your programming, but we have the last say. On a owned and operated and O&O, you, as the CW, have the last say on what they program.
Yeah.
And it's been the problem with the CW and Live Golf because they won't carry Live Golf, and they don't. And that's a real issue. Let's see. John Bolster gives us $5 to say, does the Pac-10 lose anyone if no media deal before Labor Day? Dude, I think they'll lose somebody if they don't have a media deal before Pac-12 football media day.
Pac-10.
And I think if this grant of rights is the ultimate test because it's all relationship built. We told you, our sources this week were telling us that Taylor Randall from Utah, and I shouldn't say that specifically, the staff at Utah has been working very hard to keep back channel lines of communication open and to keep a really proactive approach to relationships in this conference.
Yeah.
And I think we've heard that about Taylor Randall in Utah for this entire process because Utah has been very clear that their first and pretty much only desire is to stay in the Pac-12. And I think that when you hear, and the quality of administrator at Utah, You know that Mark Harlan's one of the best 80s in the country. You know that Taylor Randall has done a magnificent job building the book of business and building an institution at Utah. Of course they are going to facilitate and use relationships and communicate to try and keep this conference together because that's what's best for their constituents.
Yeah.
The hard part is, if you're Mark Harlan, you have a ton of sway. But Mark Harlan doesn't get a vote. Taylor Randall gets a vote. And Taylor's the one that's got to say, hey, President Cosse, hey, President Robbins, hey, this guy, hey, this gal, like, hey, we need to stay together because that's what's best for our group. And I don't know that this conference on the whole, frankly, is all aligned in that belief. In fact, I think most of us understand it's not. But if it's $25 million or more, I don't think you're going to lose anybody.
Yeah.
Because, frankly, $6 million doesn't carry a lot of water in the Pac-12 town. It just does not. They make most of these schools in the conference outside of really Washington State and Cal, most of the schools in this conference do really well financially other than their athletic department.
Right.
So they're not going to move. They'd rather subsidize $6 million than move for a $6 million bump in pay.
Well, and I think that's what people forget about is like athletics is just one piece of the puzzle at a university. And I think everyone wants to be like, oh, well, man, you don't have a TV deal. How are you going to survive? Well, it's like, yeah, it's not great, right? It's obviously not how you want to be doing business, but
that's right.
Ultimately, they're in such a surplus. Like Utah's in such a surplus financially on the education side that a $6 million difference, I mean, they can scratch that check tomorrow, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, that's nothing to them.
Yeah, I agree. Jimmy Otson, what's up, Jimmy? Good to see you, dude. Gives us $2. Thank you. Good listen. Enjoy 2 $1 tacos on me. Jimmy, appreciate that.
Appreciate you, Jimmy.
Appreciate
Seriously,
that. $2 is not...
Dude, it all adds up, man.
It's not lost on us,
It literally all, wall wraps, Big 12 Media Day, other events that we have coming for football season, like it all adds up.
A lot of people say that to us. Oh, man, I can't really do this. Or, hey, here's $2. Like, hey, man, your $2 is really well appreciated. Jimmy, we appreciate you being here and commenting. It's fair. Monty, how much revenue do you think 2 games between Kansas and Arizona per year would generate for the Big 12 Conference? My God, in basketball?
It's a tough question to answer, dude. A lot is the answer.
I think what you're going to see, and this is something I've heard repeatedly, is that in the Big 12, they are going to have matches made on ESPN, in basketball specifically. It's one of the real selling points they have for Gonzaga is, hey, we're going to put you that aircraft carrier game in San Diego with Michigan State we always talk about.
Yep.
Gonzaga loves that. It makes them a ton of money.
Gonzaga.
I think you're going to see Kansas and Arizona. I think you're going to see the big brands in that conference. I think you're going to see them go head-to-head in primetime in really exotic locations, Mexico City being one of them. I think they would love to play an outdoor game at Rucker. I think they would love Brett Yormark is an entertainment guy. It's why he puts on rap concerts at the Big 12 tournament.
Well, and I think people don't realize how easy it is logistically to put a basketball floor down. I mean, you're talking about, like, you look at Summer League. Like, I think it was the Kings put out a video on their social about them, doing the whole ballroom thing at a hotel where they have their practice courts. Like, it's not hard to do. It's really just figuring out, hey, like, what kind of infrastructure do we need? Like, how, like, what can our TV partners do with us on this? Like, it's really that side of the conversation, but having the event there is really not difficult.
And these conversations are ongoing. I mean, they are ongoing. They happen years in advance. These are not things you can do in a month.
Yeah.
Hey, let's plan a game for it. Doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
Because think about the aircraft carrier game. That's years in the making. You have to have a relationship with the government. You have to have security clearances. You have to have screenings. There's a whole lot that goes into that. That is long in advance. That's usually done at the NCAA level. And then you plug in the teams. What the Big 12 is doing this stuff on their own. This is why that announcement about a commercial division was so critical, because those sellers and those program managers and those project managers, and they're the ones working the logistics of basketball camps at Rucker Park, football in Monterey, basketball in Mexico City. I know factually that the Big 12 really wants big-time feature showcase-style games early in the season. And I think you're going to see that. I think one of the other things they'd really like to do is make a much bigger project out of their spring football games.
Mm-hmm.
That is the next, from some of the people I've talked to, that's the next big revenue source. I think they took note of what was going on at Colorado and the fanfare that we saw with Prime. And I think that instantly became a revenue-generating opportunity.
Yeah.
And I think you're going to see that almost universally now. It won't just be it won't just be, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Kurt Peters gives us $5. Thank Kurt. For your in-flight snacks, oh boy, when you have a mouthful of salty nuts, think of me.
Well done, Kurt. Well done, sir. Way to make it better.
Okay, Kurt. That's awesome. I appreciate that. Cougar Tracks. Here's enough for you and Jake to split a Coke in Texas. Exactly. Exactly. But not a gallon of gas. Cougar Tracks, you rock. I appreciate that very much. Thank you as we get ready for Big 12 Media Day next week. Renee Roca says, PAC doesn't win OC games. Just look at the back-to-back champs. Well, you lose in Florida.
Listen, the nomenclature is non-con, okay?
Non-con, please.
Non-con, please.
Non-con, please, right?
Thank
like
you.
That's, that's when they do. I agree the numbers on paper say they don't. But I think, Florida's a must-win game this year.
Yeah.
You have to win that game.
Yeah, well, and I think the
Utah.
problem is everyone knows they are more than capable of beating Florida last year.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that it's one of those things where a lot of people want to play Oregon, Washington, Utah.
Yeah.
Beating the back-to-back Pac-12 champions, there's a feather in your cap for that.
Yeah.
Absolutely there is. Brad Turner. Brad, how are you, man? So if the TV deal really expires next year in July, what is the rush to get it done now? They can't go one more season? Absolutely not. Because it's instability. And the bigger issue is it's not even from the college level. It's at the TV level.
Yes.
Because TV networks, you'll notice, like, schedules are out for the Big 12 and the SEC next year and the Big 10 next year. And what are we doing in the Pac-12?
How do you think creating marquee matchups happens? It doesn't have, dude, you're not trying to create a marquee matchup on a Friday for next Monday, dude. You're trying to create a marquee matchup 2, 3, 5 years in advance. You want these games on paper ready to go.
Yes.
Because when the Sabinator goes out to recruit, what, you think he's not talking about the schedule they have? You think he's not telling that offensive lineman, hey, dude, by the way, we're going to play this huge non-con game early in the season, and yeah, I'm going to need you to block the blind side for whoever I got trying to win a Heisman Trophy at quarterback this year. Do you really think that coaches aren't talking about that? Yeah, they have a year left on the calendar.
Do you really think Lincoln Riley's not saying to his recruits, hey, we need to go to the shoe and kick the crap out of Ohio State, and I want you to be the guy that replaces Caleb Williams. I want you to be the guy on the outside. I want you to be the next great Brian Cushing-style linebacker at SC. I want you to be the one to put the sword in the field. Like, they're absolutely doing that. And are you telling me that Michigan isn't going after recruits in Texas or in California saying, hey, you don't know where Oregon's going to be. You don't know where. Of course they are. Of course they are. The schedule and the reason that this next year is not an option is because the other thing you're going to lose is TV windows. So now the Pac-12's not going to have Pac-12 After Dark because that window's not available, right? Or, hey, maybe you're only going to get one game because ESPN and ABC have slotted in other programming.
Yeah.
Hey, they just signed this or they just signed that. Some asshole today did a commercial for Frisbee competitive disc throwing. That's a real sport now.
I thought you said competitive disc throwing.
You're like, there's only so much window in time. And when you're competing with the Big 12, who's competing with the SEC and the Big 10, are you really competing with the Big 12?
No.
And I know I've said this, and I'm sorry to be redundant. you're just backsliding.
Yes.
You're moving backwards while Brett Yormark is in a Ferrari.
Yes.
Doing 200 miles an hour racing away from you.
Yeah, and by the way, feeling good while he does it.
With Mexico and Rucker and Kansas City and
Who's the first conference? Who's the first conference to put a college basketball game in London?
Oh, I think that's happened before. But you look at the Clamato Ball situation in China.
But I'm talking about, like, yeah, sure, they may play a circuit here, a circuit there, but I'm talking about like the NFL being at Wembley, or like these.
You mean
huge,
like a regularly scheduled?
Yeah, regularly scheduled, like massive. Hey, we're gonna be here every single year, and it's a thing for our conference now, because that's where we're headed. Like, I understand that Mexico is easy logistically because it's right there.
Yeah,
but don't tell me that the conference isn't looking at Germany or London or like these different places, because again, if the NFL is going to go overseas, if Major League Baseball is going to go overseas and sell out their games real quick, you're telling me that college basketball is not going to do that? Like, the European fan base is real.
They've had a tendency to do things like Australia. They've had a tendency to do things like China, Japan, Korea. Like, I mean, I'll be interested to see, and that's a good point. I mean, I'll be interested to see, you know, who's going to expand and where is that horizon expanded to. I mean, the hard part for the Pac-12 is Mexico City is a really important piece of geography.
Yeah.
Mexico is a great market. There are a lot of people in Mexico. And it's just really unfortunate that the Pac-12 is not in a position to compete for that. And whether it is things like the Maui Invitational or whatever that exotic, the London Games, or whatever that exotic place may be, somebody's going to do it, because you cannot stand around and wait for it to happen.
The last thing I'd say is, look at the evolution of Rucker Park. Like, I look back to, like, Kobe at Rucker, right?
Yes.
Like, everyone knows that, or Kevin Durant, or, you know, Kyrie in the Pepsi commercial at Rucker Park, right? Like, we all know these great moments that the NBA has had at Rucker Park. And now you have a guy like Brett Yormark, who was in the NBA circles at Barclays and understands how the NBA works, and he's simply applying the same blueprint to his conference and saying, okay, we're going to do things that no one's ever done because it's possible, because I have the know-how, I can bring the knowledge, and all we got to do is take our amazing student athletes, put them on the floor in a safe environment, and let the money print. Like, that's what Brett Yormark gets, and that's what the Pac-12 can't do right now, because you don't have a media rights deal, which is preventing you from having a grant of rights done.
Yep. Tanner Plummer, hasn't Notre Dame gone to Ireland for sporting events? Yeah, about 10 years ago, I think they played Navy.
But you see what I mean? You have to think about it.
Yeah,
like,
not soon enough.
When did that happen?
But I think also COVID slowed some things.
Absolutely.
I think. But all that stuff is over now.
Yeah.
Like, I think people are much more willing to get out and work and move. And I just think the biggest struggle for the Pac-12 is not getting a media rights deal done. It's keeping the conference together and then figuring out how to grow and make money and extend your reach. Because I'll say it every day until I'm dead. Reach equals money.
Yeah.
And right now, the Pac-12, I mean, every single day you just feel like this Pac-12 media deal thing, like they're just sitting on the floor in their kitchen, and the media deal you don't have walks in and kicks you in the balls. Hey, how you doing? Oh, hey, Pac-12, let me kick you in the nuts again today.
All I have in this world is my balls and my word.
And it's on the back of an envelope, and the media deal is just kicking the Pac-12 in the balls
back of the envelope calculations
every day.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like, man.
Yeah.
And this conference deserves better. This conference should be better. And they're just not.
Yeah.
Delaric, how the heck are you? I have seen the MLL. It's on. Is that Major League Lacrosse?
I believe
it's
so.
on ESPN off and on more, and I think will pull more eyes than the PAC. Oh, geez, don't even say that. Connor Johnson, Pac-12 tried China. I forgot LiAngelo stole something. You guys remember that?
Dude.
Right?
Sunglasses.
On a basketball tour. Never recovered from that. Because whatever you want to say, LiAngelo Ball, or as I like to call him, Clamato Ball, was absolutely an NBA talent.
Y'all about to fuck this up.
But his dad was a pain in the ass, and he got in trouble in China.
How about LaMelo getting paid? Dude.
Again, LaMelo.
Cruising.
Yeah. Truck Stop Gumby says China.
Right.
The professional wrestler, China. You remember her? Renee Roca. How the heck are you, Renee? Michigan is solid. They just can't win, quote, big games out of conference. Well,
Note the non-con in parentheses.
yeah, the non-con, but you might want to win a college football playoff game.
Yeah.
John Bolster. So they beat Florida but lose to Baylor. What would that mean? Well, but see what I mean. When I'm trying, one win is better than one non-con win is better than no OC wins.
Look at me.
Out of conference. I'm gonna move on, man.
Right.
Renee Roca, they definitely won't be a Nebraska. Nebraska needs to win. I think this is a huge 2-3 year period for Nebraska. You guys understand that if Matt Rule is not successful at Nebraska, this could be the end of the football legacy of Nebraska.
Yeah.
Because I think it's not dead. The dynasty is not over.
Listen to me.
It's not over.
That thing's been over.
No,
The dynasty is not over.
I promise you, if Matt Rule changes the fortunes in Lincoln, that place becomes a powerhouse again.
Wow.
Okay.
Guess we'll find out.
We'll find out. Mexico City's a huge market. It's fair, says. Yes, it is. The big Pemex. Okay. I don't disagree with okay. London Showcase 12-4-22. Maine, Marist, Kentucky, and Michigan. Well,
but see what I mean about the names
Marist.
there? Like Michigan, okay.
Yeah.
Kentucky,
Sam Waters, Tokyo is a huge market, but they don't care about college football. Man, I cannot wait to get to Tokyo. I just want all of this nonsense in the world to be over. I can't wait to get out and travel.
The coronavirus.
Having been to Waco for a game, I give Utah a 50-50 chance at best. Dude, they're going to – we talked about this in hour number 1. How good is Baylor going to be?
Mm-hmm.
How good's Baylor going to be? And I think if you look at the Big 12, again, I think Texas number 1. I think Texas Tech number 2, K-State 3, TCU 4, Oklahoma 5.
Right.
Baylor, is Baylor a 6 or a 10? That's the biggest question.
Yeah.
Right?
It's difficult to say.
Blake Shapen has to be better. We've talked about this. I look at their schedule. They have to be better. They're terrible in the red zone last year.
Yeah.
Have to be better.
Yeah.
Got to stop turning the ball over. Have to be better. And it all starts and ends with Shapen, right? Like it is Dave Aranda's legacy probably is Blake Shapen.
Yeah.
Because if they have another year like they had, he's going to get run.
Yeah.
It's the same thing I say about Gundy because I ask the exact same questions. Is Oklahoma State 9, 10, 11? Because they're not going to be bottom 5 in the bottom 4.
3/4 of this is inaccurate.
Are they 9, 10, 11? Or are they 5, 6, 7? That's a huge difference.
Yeah, it is.
It's a huge difference. Oklahoma State and Baylor, if those two teams can win 9 games, how much better is the conference?
Yeah.
Massive, exponentially better.
Yep.
If Baylor meets expectations, exponentially better. But they've got to meet expectations. And I know that with Grimes there, and I mean, they have the right football minds in Waco.
Yeah.
But what happened last year? What happened last year?
Disappointment.
I would say so. I would absolutely say so. We'll see. Jimmy Otson, Sanders better than Rule. Stop it. Jimmy?
Dude?
Jimmy?
Bro?
Why do you come in here and start problems, man? Just give me my taco money.
Yeah, seriously.
Deion Sanders is set up to fail in Boulder.
But at least he'll do it in Louis.
Deion Sanders is set up to fail in Boulder. Brett McMurphy, number of games projected to be an underdog in 2023. Stanford and Western Michigan, 12. 11 games, you're going to be an underdog for Charlotte, Colorado, coach, prime time. They're scheduled to be an underdog in 11 of their 12 games.
Yeah.
Are you going to win 3? I put the over-under at 3. Over-under, Colorado football, 3. Do they win 4 or do they win 2?
4.
They win 3. I know. I'm just that dude, and I don't know shit about shit, and you know.
Telling you, they're a 4-win team, bro.
They're a 4-win team.
Yeah. 4-win team. They'll win one they shouldn't win. They'll
Then
find a
Travis
way.
Hunter is going to be the Heisman Trophy winner.
Okay, I don't think it's that extreme, bro.
Dude, if they win 4 games, or look at their schedule. They're not going to compete in 4 games.
Oh, come on. Come on.
Honest to God, I believe that they will not have enough equipment left at the end of the season.
Because it's all in the U-Haul going to the Big 12. Duh.
Here we go.
That's what it is.
Stop. You know what their schedule looks like.
Hey, look here, man.
3 games would be solid. If they, again, I'll just say it again. If they win 4 games, give the guy a parade. Get him off his feet and put him in a Louis decked out something.
Venice Parade.
Bring in DJ Khaled.
Venice Parade.
Give the guy a parade. Because if Deion wins 4 games, if he wins 5 games, fuck it, name the stadium after him. Coach Prime Stadium. Name the stadium after the guy. 5 games would be, if they go to a bowl game, I don't know what you do. Give them the fucking Buffalo. If they go to a bowl game, just give them the Buffalo.
Dude rolls up to the bowl game riding the Buffalo.
Here's our gift to you, Coach Prime, for this bowl game.
All hat, all Buffalo.
All the visual on that is, yes, we'd like to congratulate Coach Deion Sanders, Neon Prime Time. He's our guy. All right, Prime, here's your Buffalo. And then that Buffalo currently craps on his left foot. And it's just like perfect. Deion forever. And of course, he's going to have on a huge cowboy hat, cowboy boots, and like a fleece line jacket of some, what do they call that stuff inside your jacket on ranches? I can't remember.
Yeah, the fur, basically. Yeah.
Whatever it is. If that guy wins, if they go to a bowl, honest to God, I don't know what I'll do. I will run naked through my shower if they go to a bowl game.
Bro, did you just say you'll run naked through your shower?
Yeah, I'll get in my shower naked if they go to a bowl game.
Dude.
Honest to God. I am not even kidding. I will drink 17 bucked ups over the span of 21 days.
Look, Travis Bird, take it easy, okay?
I said 17 bucked ups over
Buddy
the course
had
of
9 bucked ups in one day. 17 is a little aggressive.
Yeah, because Bucked Up is magic. They are the official energy provider of the Monty Show. Bucked Up Energy. And today I'm pushing the bars, you guys, because it really is a tremendous experience. The bars have changed my life. I ate a bar before the show now 2.5 hours ago, and I am not hungry. I feel great. The Buck bars are just fantastic. Reliable energy, stocked with great nutrition, great ingredients like whey protein isolate, sweetened with things like dates so that you do not have to worry about high glycemic and how is this going to go on my blood sugar? No, friends. When you get the Buck Bar, and I want you to click the link in the description below, get the free sample pack. I promise you, you will stop hating protein bars because I hate protein bars. I have struggled to find a bar, but this is the ultimate indulgence.
Facts.
And it's good for you. It tastes good. It makes you feel good. That's what Bucked Up is all about. And whether we're talking about Buck Shots, which you know every day on this show, Bucked Up Energy, Bucked Up Miami is the best flavor in my opinion. But I also say every day now, I use their collagen peptides. If you have skin issues, I'm in the sun a lot because I golf all the time. I've really worked on not losing every hair on my head, but I look at things like their collagen peptides. I put it in a scoop of collagen into my protein shakes. It's odorless and flavorless, and it works great. My nails are super healthy. My skin's healthy. My hair is healthy. Like, their products do what they say they're going to do. use their proteins, use their collagen, use their pre-workouts. My wife, who is training for a triathlon, uses their pre-workout, uses their BCAAs. Get it at buckedup.com. Use the promo code Monty to get 20% off at checkout. But get the sampler stuff that we give you for free, you guys. Don't take my word for it. Don't spend your money. Try it for free. And I promise you, then you're going to want to spend your money at buckedup.com. But get into the description. Get the Buck Bar Sampler Pack. It'll change the way you view protein bars. All right, we're about 7 minutes away from NBA here on the Monty Show. Let's get your comments in here. Thank you so much for all the tips. Matt Ritson gives us $5. Stanford play Arizona, play football in Japan, Coca-Cola Bowl, play 1986. Okay.
Okay, yeah, that's, wow, yeah, okay.
Jake wasn't even boiling in the bag yet. Not even a thought.
I wasn't even a thought yet.
John Bolster gives us $5. Sawyers will take over for Shapen if BU loses to Utah, especially if in a low scoring game. I totally agree. And I think when you bring a kid in like Sawyer and you have a guy like Blake Shapen who's your guy and you're risking – because I think it's a risk. I do. I didn't see much from Shapen that was like, yeah, got to give this kid a shot.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't see much. And you guys, the transfer portal nowadays is fertile myrtle when it comes to quarterbacks.
Excuse me, fertile myrtle?
Yeah, when it comes to quarterbacks. I mean, BYU got Keaton Slovis.
Man. Wow.
Wow. Anyway, my point is.
Where's Sol J? Oh, wait.
Not at quarterback anymore. But my point is that you can get guys in the transfer portal. And whether you're, you can look at Uyunglele up at Oregon State or Drew Pine at Arizona State, or there are guys in the portal. Blake Shapen should not be a difference maker, in my opinion. But for Dave Aranda's resume, he's going to be a difference maker because you cannot let your season go down the crapper because your quarterback screwed you again.
Yeah.
Because that's not his fault. If Blake Shapen's a terrible quarterback again and he can't execute in the red zone, squirmish under pressure, like that's not Shapen's fault. That's Dave Aranda's fault, period, point blank, right? Because you know who that is. You know who that guy is. So I think this is a really important year, Mike Smith, how are you, bud? First moaning myrtle turns into fertile myrtle. Oh, moaning myrtle.
That's a Harry Potter reference there. Yeah, that's a Harry Potter reference, bro.
I am so proud of myself right now.
Stay hard.
That I don't know the moaning myrtle reference from Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Bless up. Like, I am so proud of myself,
take
Steph.
It easy.
In God's name, image, and likeness.
No, bro. Not doing it. Greg Swaim says, I'm bucked up right now. Need some bars, though. Greg, get the free samples, man. Don't take my word for it. Get the sampler packet. It is, you guys, the Buck Bar is great.
Bomb.
I hate protein bars. We've talked about, I would rather eat. Do you guys know what a complete cookie is?
Oh, all day.
I'd rather eat a complete cookie than any protein bar except a Buck Bar.
Yeah.
Like, I look forward to it now because they're that good. They taste good.
Yeah, he's not exaggerating. I love them too. And
Yeah,
I'm not a protein
tastes
bar
good.
guy at all.
Monty, you mean Sherpa? Yeah, hey, man.
Sherpa, Moaning Myrtle, same thing.
Yeah, what's the crazy little character's name?
Groot?
No. Lord of the Rings guy? Like the alien-looking dude?
Oh my, Gollum.
Is that it? I don't know.
Gollum.
That's a lie.
No, that's what his name is.
Is it? Big 12 football media days could be Colorado and Arizona moving day. Could be.
For real.
Mike Smith, don't be proud of not knowing Harry Potter references when you admit to eating veggie tacos. Shame. Veggie tacos are good. Dude, I'll say again, though. We had the Costco tacos the other day.
Dude.
Me and Mrs. Monty did.
Cash.
Somebody had to run home and make sure that Fertile Myrtle wasn't running out the door.
That's right, T.
We had the tacos the other day, and they were so good. When was that? Was like Saturday we golfed. And then you didn't want to come over to my place for lunch.
Yeah.
So Mrs. Monty had the tacos waiting. Oh, God damn.
Yeah.
They were good. I couldn't get down the mountain from Canyons Golf fast enough to get those Costco tacos. They are really good. Although rumor has it, by the way, that Canyons Resort has breakfast burritos now.
Oh, we're gonna have to put that to the test, bro.
Breakfast burrito at the warm up, where you warm up, where you're taking your warm up swings and stuff, and there's a putting green at Canyons. They have like a coffee and food trailer. And from what I understand, there's a really nice girl that greets all the guests that come to golf there. She was telling me the breakfast burrito there is pretty good.
Okay.
So we may have to check that out. And Donut says, Harry Potter. We're talking about Harry Potter.
Yeah, dude. We're not talking about Lord of the Rings. We're talking about Harry Potter.
OG Greg says, no Sherpa is the material in the jacket you were talking. Shearling.
Okay.
A Sherpa is a guy that guides you up a mountain.
Yeah, dude. That's not a Sherpa, dude.
Okay. All right. Truck Stop Gumby. Veggie tacos and Harry Potter, free is the way to be. It's damn right. John Bolster, if I was to predict realignment announcement prior to 7-Eleven, 12 media days, it would be CU and UConn. Nah, it'd be CU and Gonzaga.
Yeah.
I think
UConn
Gonzaga.
hype train is too much right now, bro.
Taylor
Gonzaga.
Gilstrap.
Yeah, Gilstrap finally decided to participate today.
Oh, are you guys driving or flying to Dallas for Big 12 media
We're
days?
riding a Sherpa.
Yeah. We should stop. Bucked up. Too bucked up. We are flying Delta Airlines.
Yeah.
And I'm going to the airport early so I can get into the Delta One lounge.
Yeah.
Because I'm a pimp.
Delta One, Sky Miles, and stuff.
Kevin says, hi, Monty and Mini Monty. Love the show.
Mini Monty.
Thanks, Kevin. Good to see you. See, Kaufman, you mean the driving range? No, they don't have a driving range at Canyons. They have, like, hitting bays. God damn it. Jeff Woodward.
Was funny as hell.
Folsom Field is not the highest. That lies in Gunnison, Colorado. Well,
Gunnison.
When I was talking about getting high, I wasn't talking. Okay, let's move on. Cougar Tracks. I would not admit to eating fish tacos.
Dude. In Hawaii, there's nothing like them.
They are really good. Okay, Monty, would you, A, watch Harry Potter, B, watch Lord of the Rings, C, jump in a pit of snakes and spiders? You choose. I've watched Lord of the Rings. I just am not going to walk around with a scepter and pointing people and cast spells and shit. Yeah.
It's called a wand, you idiot.
Yeah, dumbass.
He's an assassin.
Kurt Peters, Harry Potter. Yeah, Hairy. He has a lot of hair.
Yeah.
He has a lot of hair. Salty Drunk. Hey, guys, you knew I couldn't do life without my American brothers.
Hello, sir. Welcome back.
Hey-o!
Welcome back, my guy.
Talk to my guy,
Appreciate
Salty
you, bro.
Drunk. You know, he's down there in Melbourne, Florida, which is a lie because it's actually Melbourne, Australia.
I want my keg.
See,
I want it.
The problem is Salty Drunk is a damn liar.
I want it.
He says that he paid me my 4X gold.
Congratulations, but that's bullshit.
But I haven't gotten it yet. And
kind of like FootJoy, right?
Fucking foot. I was on the have fun mode to end the second hour, and you had to bring up FootJoy.
Sorry, bro. Sorry, man.
I'm allegedly getting FootJoy at some point.
Allegedly.
You know. Salty is back. Yes,
appreciate you, Salty.
Greg Swaim says, BYU and Okie State fans may be interested to know that Ty Detmer's sister is married to a 7'5" South African that played for Eddie Sutton at Oklahoma State.
Can you measure it?
Quality genetics for sure, so start recruiting those kids.
Cock-a-doodle-doo.
Dude, if your last name's Detmer, don't you want to be the next Jimmer?
Yeah.
Who, by the way, did you see that the gym is playing 3-on-3 still?
Oh, yeah, dude.
And good.
He's dominating the big three.
Jeff Woodward makes a good point. Kleavcock needs a Sherpa.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Remember the old lady who was singing the Missy Elliott song? Doesn't she say Sherpa in it?
I don't
or something. You know, we've listened. You know what? Never mind. No more salt on the wound, Callahan says. Okay.
Yeah, by the way, Salty, in your boycott, everyone was asking where you were.
Yeah, everybody missed you, Salty Drunk. You can't be doing that.
Yeah.
You can't be doing that.
Yeah.
You know, Salty is salty. Reason his name is not Sugar Drunk. Exactly right. Exactly right. Oh my God, that's amazing. Exactly right. Gilstrap says Cougar Tracks, especially since he is the man, the myth, the legend, Jakey Two Holes. So intimidating for any Sherpa, understandably.
Yeah.
Damn right. Bryce Martin, Johnny Manziel was a drunk Ty Detmer. Dude played for Eddie Sutton, would have to be a damn near elderly, LOL. Eddie Sutton. I believe he passed recently in the last several years. Rest his soul and his perm. Connor Johnson, PAC football recruiting is doing just fine. Can have B-ball. Dude, you lose Arizona, and there's nothing fine about not having Arizona and UCLA. On the Monty Show, presented by our friends at Super Chicks in Ogden and St. George, the GZ. What's up, St. George? We're looking at our numbers today. St. George, Hurricane, Utah. Hello, Hurricane. Love you guys, Super Chicks. That's our favorite chicken sandwich, bros. We tell you all the time, Riverdale Road in Ogden, down in St. George, full chicken breast no matter what. And I hate going into a place, getting a chicken sandwich, and you're getting thighs for a chicken sandwich. It's a chicken breast at Super Chicks, perfectly breaded, always fresh, never frozen. Produce are fresh, chopped in-house every single day. Their French fries chopped in-house every day. Their custard made in-house every day. That's what you get at Super Chicks. Trust me, go in there, get the deluxe sandwich, extra pickles, salt and pepper fries. Get yourself any kind of custard shake you want. It's the way of life when you go to Super Chicks. By the way, their ranch, I say it again, the best ranch. I am fat. I know ranch dressing. Pure Colombian cocaine like they found at the White House.
Clean cut.
You know, Hunter Biden brings that stuff to... Okay, we should stop. Anyway, the point is, their ranch dressing is amazing.
Yes.
Super Chicks, Riverdale Road in Ogden. Make sure you tell them you heard about it on the Monty Show. Hour number 3. Look at you guys. OG Gary says, going to Super Chicks next week for my last day at work. Your last day at work? What do you mean? Are you changing jobs, OG? What's up with that? Gary also says thighs, breast, personality, choices. Personality is not nearly as important. You know, that's what I'm saying. Jeff Woodworth, Big 12 would like to pound the Beavers. Well, I think we all would. All right, let's satisfy the masses. And should we talk about Threads real quick?
Sure.
Are you guys on Threads? Have you seen this?
Threads.
So, you guys know what Threads is, I'm sure. Ooh, DeJounte Murray, 4-year, $120 million deal.
There you go. Good for him.
God damn. That is a lot of money. Isn't that $50 million a year?
What was it?
$120 million.
Yeah. Over
4 years. Jeez Louise.
Oh, that's 30.
Oh, it's okay. Well, screw me then.
30.
Is DeJounte Murray worth $120 million?
Yeah, to them he is. Yeah, because, Trae Young's about to bounce.
Okay. I think that's crazy money. I think that is huge, crazy money, and I don't understand it. I truly don't. DeJounte Murray, 4 years, $120 million. Yeah, $30 million. What am I thinking? 50. Got to take my socks off. Anyway, are you guys familiar with Threads? I was looking at my Threads account. I opened a Threads account. Now, frankly, Thank you. I have no idea how to use this. I don't know. Well, because I haven't played with it.
Yeah.
That's what she said. I am interested to know why 73 people in the last 3 hours have followed me. It's fun so far. It's nothing like Twitter, in my opinion. You were saying that you think this is like Twitter.
Yeah, I think it's a hybrid between Twitter and Instagram. I think it encourages you to use a lot more visuals, a lot more pictures and stuff like that. But I think they put it in a way where it feels like Twitter.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. To me, this is, I hate Mark Zuckerberg just on principle alone. I am not a big fan of Elon Musk one way or the other. I don't hate him, but I certainly don't like him. This feels stupid to me. Elon is already suing over Threads. You can't tell me, A, that he can win that. I don't believe that he can, because I just don't think it's that much like Twitter. So are you guys using Threads? I'd love to spend 5 minutes talking about this. Scott of Greywater, yep. I have a Threads account after Elon. Okay, mine's just the Monty Show. You know. Mike Smith, is Threads going to last as long as the app Google tried to use to replace Facebook? Exactly.
Good question.
Exactly. I agree with that. Kurt Peters, is Threads the new Twitter? Well, I think Zuckerberg would like it to be.
Yeah.
Which, okay, that's fine. OG Gary, yeah, and Threads kind of low-key sucks. I'm seeing mad threads from people I don't follow. That's what I'm talking about. Cougar Tracks, what's a thread? Well, really, it's just conversations.
It's just like Twitter, dude. Just like Twitter.
I don't know. Greg Hawkins, I got 5,000 followers on Threads in 12 hours, so I'm pretty happy with it. I never got more than 10K on Twitter the entire time I've had it. Well, you're also like an international TV superstar. And you're good looking. You know. Threads is weird. I'm going to keep trying to use it. But
yeah, I mean, I just like it because I just despise Twitter, dude. I hate it. I hate Twitter so much, and I think Twitter's become such a malcontent in our country after the whole election thing and all the bots and, you know, just all the stuff that went down with it. Like, I was just over it, you know. So, I mean, I'm on Twitter, obviously, and I'll continue to use it, but I just think that Threads has an opportunity. I don't know that it survives. I think the people asking the question of if it survives more than 2 weeks that's a very pertinent question, man. That is a realistic, honest question. And I hope it does, but we'll see.
I'm telling you, by the way, Bucked Up is on Threads. Following Bucked Up. I follow golf people on Threads.
Mm-hmm.
I follow you. Well, I don't follow you. You suck on Threads.
Right, yeah.
Do you follow me?
I don't know. I'd have to check.
Probably not.
No,
I follow you. I don't know. Follow me on Threads. Let's figure it out. Let's see if we can use it. You know. Connor Johnson, Threads the post-apocalyptic nuke war movie from the Cold War. Exactly. It's just weird to me. Greg Swaim says, can't have anything to do with anything Mark Cuban is a part of or Zuckerberg. Okay. Zuckerberg's a weird dude.
He is.
I can't criticize his wardrobe because, frankly, I wear a black T-shirt and a black polo shirt every single day. Every day.
Yeah, it's your go-to.
So who am I to criticize? But the guy's a weird dude. Having met him twice.
Vibe is strange.
I've met him twice in a business setting when I worked at KGO and KMBR in San Francisco. He feels like a robot. I'm not even kidding. Like, if you walk up to him and you're like, hey, is this guy AI generated? Like, it's weird.
Yeah.
Like, the total opposite. Like, Bill Clinton, I was in a room when Bill Clinton walked into a room in San Francisco. And the entire room lit up. Everybody was excited. Like, it was amazing.
Yeah.
I was in a room where Mark Zuckerberg walked in and nobody said 2 fucking words because the guy is weird.
He is.
He is weird. Weird, but I will say, oh my God. Dude, what is wrong with my brain right now? Like, I had this dude's name in my head. Anyway, like the motivational speaker guy. Tony, I can't remember.
Robbins.
Tony Robbins, thank you. Tony Robbins walked into we had a small gathering with Tony Robbins in San Francisco. Probably 100 people in a theater room. And the place lit up, and he stopped and talked to everybody, and it was awesome. Mark Zuckerberg didn't stop and talk to anybody, had security, didn't look anybody in the eye. Like, it was weird.
Yeah.
It was weird.
Yeah.
Yes, Greg Hawkins. Twitter has gotten way too toxic. Threads hasn't gotten to that level. I hope it doesn't. I don't use Twitter nearly as much as I used to because everybody's a Twitter tough guy.
Yep.
Like, I cannot tell you, and you can vouch for me on this.
Yes.
How many guys are like, oh, on Twitter, like, you're an asshole. Oh. They walk up to me in public like, hey, man, great show.
Literally.
Show. Man,
literally.
Wow. You guys are the best.
Oh,
Thank
but
God
by
you're
the
here.
way.
Man, great show. We get that all the time. That's the problem with Twitter.
But it goes further than that. Oh, great show. By the way, hey, what do you know about Utah to the Big 12?
Oh, yes.
What do you know about JC? And what do you know about this? It's like, dude, you're such a clown, bro.
Like, and then you get right back on Twitter and you're like, oh, I met you. You're an asshole. Okay. Cool, dude. Like, it's become a place where you can't have conversations.
You are a two-face on Twitter.
We use it to leverage information, get the show, like, all great. Notice if you tweet at me, I almost never reply because I don't look at my replies.
Yeah.
And I have certain people highlighted. If you tweet at me, I'll reply to you. If you Like, I don't read I read my DMs maybe once every other day. I get a lot of DMs. I'll read my DMs maybe once every other day, and I might reply to 1 out of 50, depending on who it is. If I know you or of you and you haven't been a complete dickbag, I'll probably reply to you. You know, like I cannot tell you how many people in the industry DM me, hey, can you, how do you guys do it on YouTube? Or, hey, you know, I talked to this guy, he says he knows you. Like, okay, I'm cool with that. But I'll get DMs and people will be like, hey, what do you know about this? What do you know about this Pac-12? Hey, let's share sources. Let's collab. And I'll be like, yeah, sorry, man, I don't collaborate. You're an asshole. Fuck you. Because I don't have time to go on other people's shows. I would love to. Find me the time to do it. When can I spend?
Well,
like
I know
this
that
dude,
we don't do anything besides turn the show on, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, we're here. You know, we just don't prep or anything. Like, dude, like this guy the other week was like, hey, come and do an hour on my podcast. We'd love to have you on. We watch your show every day. And I said to him, hey, you know, I would love to. Straight up, I don't have the time. Like, I'm working on golf content right now, and I'm doing the show, and I'm making calls, and I'm selling my show. And he's like, you're so arrogant. I'm a little guy trying to get to where you're at, and you won't even spend an hour with me. And it's like, dude. And I said to him, okay, tell me what I should give up. Because I actually felt bad for the guy. And I said to him, it's not personal. And he literally was like, F you, and he blocked me. It's like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Like, I was polite about it. That's
what the world's come to, dude.
But DM me on LinkedIn, and it's a business conversation. 9 out of 10 times. Unless you're a dude trying to get hooked up and get laid on LinkedIn, which happens all the time, which is so bizarre to me. But my point on Threads is, it feels like everything in social media has become toxic. Mm-hmm. That's what it feels like to me.
Yeah.
Like, you can't talk politics. You certainly can't talk religion. You can't talk about news or mass shootings and what the sad part is, all of that now has blurred the sports, Big 12, Pac-12, baseball. Like, I cannot tell you how many people are like, oh, you guys are arrogant because you won't share information. Like, we're not arrogant. We're not at all. Like, I cannot tell you how difficult it is to form relationships in writing when you've never met anybody. Like, we don't shake hands anymore because we have social media.
True.
And then people are like, why won't you tell me who your sources are? And it's like, yeah, okay, dude, who we've never met, and you're a Twitter tough guy.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you who I talk to.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy to me.
Yeah.
It is crazy to me how many people just don't get it.
Yeah, dude.
And no, it's not even like can't handle rejection, not going to make it in most businesses. But you can't handle common sense. If somebody says to you, you say, hey, would you mind coming be a guest on our show for an hour? And the other thing he said that made me crazy was, well, hey, if Old Man in the 3 asked you, you would go on their show. And I said, no, I actually wouldn't. I don't have time. I'm trying to figure out in my life how to spend more time with my wife. I'm married to a queen. And she's training for a triathlon. I'm trying to play golf, and we work full-time, both of us. She works just as many hours as I do, and I'm supposed to spend an hour of my day not making money, not revenue generating, not content prepping, and not spending time with my wife. By the way, there's only 24 of them in a day, and I'm supposed to do an hour on somebody else's podcast. I don't know how I would do that.
But apparently you're an asshole for prioritizing your time.
And that's the problem with it. Greg says billionaires are really weird in general. Yes, they are.
You got to be different to get to that level, though.
Yeah. Monty, how did we get through our earlier years without social media platforms?
Well, I think that's a great point, sir. Great point.
Before Zuckerberg showed up with Facebook, life was so much simpler. Right? And the funny thing is we golfed on Tuesday on the 4th of July.
Yeah.
Accidentally left my phone in the car. Do you know how just like freeing that was?
Yep.
Not to look at my phone, not to worry about it, not wait, well, I have 21 emails or I have 50 emails. Like, I'll pick up my phone if I haven't looked at it overnight. This morning I had like 47 emails. Like, who's got time for that? You're exactly right. You know, furthermore than that, how did we all get along without cell phones in the 70s, 80s, and 90s? Because we did. Pagers, totally get it. But how do we all make it without cell phone? We did quite nicely.
Yes.
Thank you. Yes, MySpace. Yes. Tom was my friend. Oh, my God. Seriously. Gilstrap. Social media is a blessing and also a curse. Toxic cancer, all in and of itself. Yes, it is. Yeah, it is. That's exactly right. But if you think about the media business, or if you think of, look at recruiting.
Dude.
Do you know how many recruits and coaches communicate on social media?
Well, it's the best way to.
It's crazy.
Because where are they all at?
Who said to us the other day? Somebody said, my neighbor said to me the other day on the 4th of July, I can't wait to sell my business so I can buy a flip phone and not give a damn.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yep.
And Donuts gives us $5. Golf fun. Thanks for the levity today. Have a great weekend. You too, bud. And Donuts, always good to see you.
Bro, you know what's weird about that comment? Already getting have a great weekend, and we've only done two shows.
It's Thursday.
It's so weird.
Thursday. Delaric, I did not get a cell phone until 2010, and I did not get a smartphone until 2018. I'm 43.
Wow.
My guy. Good for you,
That's
dude.
impressive, dude.
Good for you. Off topic, but curious if Vegas gets an NBA team, is it a top spot players want to play?
I would say it is.
Golden Knights is a top spot hockey players want to play. I think it is. Gambling's a real problem. And I don't know that it needs to be a real problem. But the NFL clearly has a gambling problem.
Clearly.
They are in double digits of suspensions, right? So the NFL has a gambling problem.
Yep.
But is it an NFL gambling problem, or is it a stupid guy who plays football gambling problem? Because really, there's a lot of these dudes getting suspended in the NFL for placing bets on non-NFL things in the facility. You are never allowed to gamble on any way, shape, or form in an NFL facility. On a bus, on a plane, on a train, at a practice facility, at a stadium, can't do it. Yet guys do it and they get suspended for it. Can never bet on your own sport. Guys do it and they get suspended for it.
Yep.
So is that an NFL problem or a stupid guy problem? That feels like a stupid guy problem, right?
Yeah, buddy at Alabama, right?
Stupid guy problem. Sending the baseball coach at Alabama, sending somebody into the sports book at the Cincinnati Reds stadium.
Yeah, great American.
You're a dumb guy.
Yep.
I think gambling, it also goes back to, our freedom's really free in this country. Do we really want freedoms? Well, we got to have the Second Amendment and the First Amendment. Okay, but I can't gamble in any state I want. I can't play the Powerball in Utah.
Which is ridiculous.
I can't. Up until last year, I couldn't place a wager in Arizona. Is that freedom? It's not.
No, it's not.
It's not. But I can smoke and I can drink alcohol, but I can't gamble.
Yeah.
Gambling's I think the NBA is going to be very slow and cautious, and I truly believe LeBron's the guy who owns a team in Vegas.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
And I think it is a very cautionary tale.
I think LeBron wants to play with Bronny, and then he's going to own a team in Vegas. It's just very simple.
I don't disagree with that. Ron Nolan, dude, I was at the Wyndham on the 4th. We might have crossed paths. The Canyons Club is a trailer on a dirt road. What's up with that? Dude, I was at Canyons on the 4th. Well, what were you doing? When were you there? The Canyons Clubhouse is a trailer on a dirt road. What's up with that? Well, at Canyons, you're a ski resort. And so they have a semi-permanent clubhouse, golf shop. And the resort, if you notice, is constantly under construction.
Yeah.
So they're not going to pave that road until all the construction's done. But if you played golf at Canyons over the weekend on the 4th, you would recognize it's a spectacular course. So I say this all the time. Like, why are you going to go to Mountain Dell when you can drive 15 minutes up the freeway and have a world-class experience?
Yeah.
Where they fall all over you. You have elevated tee boxes. You have elite fairways. And granted, the greens are difficult. The greens are very difficult at Canyons. But the tee boxes are spectacular.
Yep.
The dog legs are spectacular. Like what is that? the 7th hole, the construction hole.
Yeah, I believe that's 7.
It's a light dogleg right.
Yes.
And it's a spectacular hole, but it has a huge construction project off the right side of it because they're building more condos. So once all that construction's done, but I love canyons.
Yeah.
I love canyons. And I tell you guys all the time.
Yeah.
That's the place we golf. It's the only place we golf. And it's odd. It's sitting right here. Here's my PGA book. I'm a member of the Utah PGA. So I get a free round at pretty much every course in the state. I go to canyons. I choose to drive 30 minutes to canyons because the golf is that better. So Ron, I'm curious what your experience is like.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think it's worth the drive. Absolutely. And I think
there's no question.
I think that the clubhouse thing, I think there are a lot of golfers out there, and Ron, I don't know if this is you or not, but I think there are a lot of golfers out there who go to different courses just to see what the clubhouse is like. And I think there are some times when you have to give the course a chance. I mean, again, you're up in the mountains at a ski resort playing their golf course, and it's like, hey, dude, you're not there for the clubhouse, you're there for the course.
And you're there for the deer, and you're there for the moose, and you're there for the...
It's just a totally top-notch experience.
The 17th hole at Canyons Golf Course is my favorite hole I've ever played. It is a 500-yard par 5 off an elevated tee box. And Darren Ingram, the director of golf at Canyons, has me playing the blue tees now. And so it's been an adjustment, but now I've made the adjustment to hitting the ball more left so I don't blow it over the back of the fairway. It's a dogleg left. And Saturday, Monday, and Tuesday, I was in position for eagle. And you hit off an elevated tee box down into a fairway that up to the left. And I hit a 7-iron right up onto an elevated green and missed the eagle putt. That's the spectacular part about canyons. I'm in the mountains under a ski lift hitting a tee shot. And you don't get that almost anywhere else.
Yeah.
You really don't. I love it. I talk about it all the time. Greg Swaim says, speaking of recruiting, my real job for almost 36 years. Oh, really? I did not know that. Pac-12 recruiting being sabotaged largely by their own ineptitude, but secondarily by other P5 schools using their no TV deal against them. Absolutely. And why wouldn't you?
I would be.
Why wouldn't you? Right? Truck Stop Gumby's says peace. No, peace and honor.
Peace and love, bro.
There you go.
Peace and love.
Connor Johnson, Pac-10 still has half the league in the top 50 and 2 in the top 15 for 24 recruiting. They do. But Greg's absolutely right. We talk about this all the time with our context. They're struggling to answer the question, what's going to happen next year?
Yeah, how much damage does this do for the draft classes or the not draft classes, recruiting classes of the next couple of seasons for the Pac?
Where's my mom going to be able to watch? Where's my grandma going to be able to watch? Where's my girlfriend going to be able to watch? My best friend, my high school teammates, my high school coach.
Yeah.
Do you know how many kids care about that?
A lot.
A ton.
I would care.
A ton. And if you're asking a kid I can speak to USC, which I think under Pete Carroll is the best recruiting process I've ever seen. They were systematic about it. They gave you data. They gave you information, presentations. Like just seeing the way that Pete Carroll recruited and now seeing the way that Lincoln Riley is recruiting against the Pac-12, it's unbelievable. Lincoln Riley is recruiting against the Pac-12. The head coach at USC is recruiting against the Pac-12. Let that sink in, dude.
Yeah.
And they're winning. They are winning. And yes, Oregon recruits at a very high level. Utah recruits at a very high level. Washington, very high level. But how are you recruiting in Pullman, Corvallis, Tucson? Not a football school.
Yeah.
Arizona State, scandal-ridden. Oh, by the way, you also don't have a TV deal next year, and you're probably going to be on some regional TV channel. And so, facts of the case.
Yep.
Facts of the case. You know, like you look at who's really winning the football recruiting battles in the Pac-12. I would tell you it's Oregon, Washington, and Utah. And transfer portal wise, obviously that changes the game. I mean, Jonathan Smith at Oregon State's done a nice job. There's no way to play against that. But Deion's a little different though.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Deion
well, I mean, he had to strip the whole thing down, and he's had to take
Deion.
a different path. Yeah,
and he's Deion.
Yeah.
Who doesn't? If you are a 4, and I would say even a 3, a 4, or 5-star recruit, if you are black, if you are inner city, if you are the prototypical, can go anywhere, and Nick Saban walks in and Deion Sanders walks in, you relate more closely to Deion Sanders.
Nick Saban.
And he knows that. And if you don't believe me, how does Travis Hunter end up at Jackson State?
Yeah, it's a great question.
Because that kid was the number 1 recruit in the country 2 years in a row.
Yeah.
And he stayed with Prime. Deion can recruit. And I don't care what the obstacle is, because Deion's got a great staff and he's got connections. Do you think he does all of this video and social media vlogging for no reason? He's at Colorado, dude.
Yes.
Do you know how hard it is to go to school at Colorado? And then on top of that, now with, equality issues being taken off the table, and you look at the demographics and you look at the average kid and the background and the recruit and do you know how hard it is to succeed as a football recruit at Colorado, and knowing that you're probably there for 3 years minimum?
Yeah. Yeah, dude.
There are some kids that don't belong in that environment. And he's going to get them there, and he's going to help them succeed.
Because he did it.
And by the way, it's easier to go to Alabama than it is Colorado. It's easier to go to just about anywhere.
Yeah, Nick Saban has a cakewalk to recruit.
Yeah, come on. Like, that's crazy. Taylor Gilstrap says Lincoln Riley is a POS. He recruited against Oklahoma knowing he was going to USC. Damn right he did. And now he's doing the same thing with the conference swapping. But what would you have him do?
Yeah, that wasn't up to Lincoln, bro.
Gilstrap, but if you're, in all seriousness, if you're Lincoln Riley, why would you do anything different?
Yeah.
Because, by the way, he's got the Heisman Trophy winner going from Norman to Los Angeles. Why would you do anything different?
Yeah.
There's not a kid who doesn't want to play for Lincoln Riley. There's not a kid who doesn't want to. If Chip Kelly knocks on your door, you're gonna let him in, because he's going to the Big Ten.
Yeah.
And if Lincoln Riley knocks on your door, you're gonna let him in. If Dan Lanning knocks on your door, if Dan Lanning says, "Man, I'd really like to talk to your,"
who the f*** is that guy?
You're probably gonna take. But if Deion wants the same time slot as Dan Lanning,
yeah, Deion's getting that.
Gonna tell Dan he's gonna have to call back.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to reschedule there, Slick.
Dillingham wants the same time as Nick Saban. Yeah, I don't know who Kenny is, but I'm gonna talk to Nick Saban. Those are the guys that are winning in recruiting in the Pac-12.
Nick Saban.
Right? I mean, that's just the reality of college athletics.
Yeah.
And basketball, don't even talk to me about basketball recruiting in the Pac-12 right now, because there is none.
Yeah.
There isn't.
It's embarrassing.
And we've talked to people at Arizona. Even Arizona is struggling to recruit college basketball. They're not at the same level and volume that they were.
No.
And they're trying to sell Tucson. You can't sell Tucson in basketball, and you think you're selling Tucson in football. Fuck out of here. Like, you're not. Nobody wants to go to. And Rich Rodriguez, God rest his football soul, said this to us at Pac-12 Media Day several years ago. It's nobody wants to come to Tucson. Not some kids or not everybody. Nobody wants to come to Tucson.
Yeah, dude.
Not to play football. And right now, not to play basketball.
Yep.
So, like, it is, to me anyway, it just is what it is.
Yeah, dude. It's rough. Like, recruiting is a dog-eat-dog-eat world, man.
It is. Arizona just got a commitment from a 5-star D lineman, Elijah Rushing. It'll be interesting to see if they can keep him.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. You're getting a lot of these kids that sign the letter but don't execute the contract. And they reopen their recruiting. This Pac-12 media deal, and I don't want to overstate its importance, and I'm not sure that I can. I think it is a singular moment in time where we'll be able to point back and say, boy, being on the CW and Apple TV,
Yeah.
That's why that conference died. Man, being on Apple TV, that's where this conference really took off. That's why they're competing with the SEC right now.
Yeah.
That'll never happen. But my point is...
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
We're going to be able to look back at this media deal and say, hey...
Yeah.
Greg Hawkins, I'm not worried for our school in the Pac-12 as of yet. The Big 12 wants our school and is debating over which ones, quote-unquote, to take, which means we have at least some value. Oh, I don't think there's any doubt, and we've said this on the show repeatedly. Mm-hmm. The Big 12 would roll out quite literally the red carpet and light the U to have Utah in the conference. The Big 12 would love nothing more.
Yeah.
Solid athletics, excellent academics, good bread, good donor base, good, like everything
All
you
of
want.
it.
Everything you want. Everything you want. I'm more tired than anything of the snide comments from know-nothing fans who think to spout their opinions as though they're fact. That is frustrating.
That's college football.
Lincoln is a master recruiter and a great coach, and he's got SoCal for a setting. I'm just waiting to see if he's the second coming of Pete Carroll.
Well.
Wait, let me single you up. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Jake's not a Lincoln Riley fan.
I mean,
I'd put the bullets in the gun and you wouldn't pull the trigger.
I can espouse about it all day, bro. The guy.
I can espouse about how much I hate that prick.
The guy. Talk to me when he wins a natty.
Yeah. Yeah? Okay. Because he's gotten close. Greg Hawkins, he needs to replace Grinch if he wants to win at the highest level. We're going to find out this year.
Yep.
Because they dominated the portal.
Yep.
Dominated the portal. OG Gary, is there a bucked up code? Monty. M-O-N-T-Y, Monty.
Yep.
20% off at checkout. Monty. M-O-N-T-Y.
Hey, Monty.
Hey, Monty. Buckedup.com. Use the promo code Monty to get 20% off at checkout. Okay, hit the like button, please. We appreciate you guys being here. Let's talk a little. We have time to do NBA today? Sure we do.
Yeah.
Let's do NBA because then we got to talk about the Japanese death sentence because that thing's crazy. Greg Hawkins is going to join us as a special guest on the show to talk about Indonesian wedding receptions in a location that will shock you. Real quick. Is Damian Lillard now a villain? This is one of the most shocking stories. And it's amazing to me. Damian Lillard is doing exactly what most of us would do.
Right.
Chasing the legacy.
Yep.
He has become a heel or a villain for one simple reason. He was the exact opposite of that for too long in Portland. He gave Portland too much rope. He gave them too much opportunity, and they did absolutely nothing with it. Did he get an extension? Yeah. Is he going to make $60 million a year the next few years? Yeah, he is. That's not his fault. He's earned that. So making Damian Lillard a villain for wanting to go to Miami and demanding a trade, I think is more of an indication that Portland fans are bitter about him leaving. Because there's not a Portland Trailblazer fan that's going to tell you that Dame's been a bad player, because he hasn't been, or a bad citizen, because he hasn't been, or very good for the franchise, because he has been. In fact, he's their best player ever. And yet, you're going to rip Damian Lillard and make him a villain because Portland hasn't done dick to put players around him to win. And yet, it's his fault. Now, did he do enough with C.J. McCollum in that group? Probably not. Could they have done more? Maybe. But were they better than every team they faced? They were not. They were not. And if he goes with Jimmy Butler, Himmy.
Thank you.
In Miami, and they win a championship, he's not a villain. He's not a villain now. He won't be a villain then. He'll be one of the greatest players of his generation. And faulting him for that or criticizing him for that, Jake, seems completely wrong.
Yeah, and I just think that all the people who are like, oh, well, dude could have won like 5 championships if he would have left. Well, shoulda, coulda, woulda. The reality of the situation is him and CJ were never going to be better than prime Steph and Clay. Right? Like, that's the reality of the situation. Steph Curry's a better player than Damian Lillard is. Klay Thompson's a better player, even today, in my opinion, than C.J. McCollum ever was. And that's the problem. Dame never had firepower. With all due respect to Yusuf Nurkic, right? Never was going to be, the best big in the league, was never going to be a franchise level, put you over the top player. And so for me, I just don't understand why people are like, oh, this guy's horrible. How are you going to say the same thing about Kevin Durant and then apply that same logic to Dame? Kevin Durant's been hopping around for years, right? If anything with Dame, we should be saying, hey, dude, yeah, I feel a little sorry for you. You were foolish in staying there too long. You were foolish. But props to you for recognizing that finally and trying to get on to a better opportunity. I don't give a damn about the people saying, oh, well, hey, if he knew he was going to opt out, he shouldn't have signed that extension through, I think it's 2027 or whatever it is on his contract.
But did he know he was going to opt out a year ago?
That's my point. NBA players don't live 5 years in advance. They live right now. I want to make as much money on my deal as I can right now. So I'm not going to sit here and burn Damian Lillard to the ground for trying to make some money in the NBA. I'm not doing that. What my problem here is that everyone thinks that if he would have gone to another team 5 years ago, he'd have had like 6 championships and he'd have been this incredible player. Who's to say?
Who knows?
I don't believe that Dame going to another team 5 years ago means he would have beat the Prime Warriors or LeBron in Cleveland or Kawhi in Toronto. I don't believe any of that, dude. There's no way to guarantee that. So that's why I say we shouldn't be crushing this guy. What we should be saying is Portland is a horribly run organization that wasted Damian Lillard.
And is for sale.
And, well, is it though?
But I think if Paul Allen, God rest his soul, was still with us today, they would have won a championship already.
Wow.
But he passed. And that's the past. And I think Damian Lillard is completely justified in doing what he's doing. And I don't think, for what it's worth, I don't think Portland's doing anything wrong either. Because I think they're completely justified in asking for a king's ransom in return for Damian Lillard.
Rudy got what Rudy got. What's Dame worth?
But I think the other problem here is these franchise-level players wait too long. Devin Booker, this is the last hurrah in Phoenix. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, this has got to be the last hurrah in OKC because you have now all this talent around you in Phoenix and in OKC, and you should win. You should absolutely win. With what we're seeing from Chet at Summer League, they're going to be a defensive force. They're going to be a defensive force. Why Jalen Williams is playing Summer League, I have no idea.
Not anymore.
But my point is, this Oklahoma City team, this Phoenix team, and now this Miami team with Damian Lillard on it, because I ultimately think that's probably where he ends up, can win. But is anybody surprised to hear that Jason Tatum is asking Damian Lillard to come to Boston and that he would not mind Jaylen Brown being shipped out? I am not surprised to hear that.
Yeah, Damian Lillard's an upgrade to Jaylen Brown.
There's no doubt about that. Now, can you keep all three of them together? Maybe. But is that why they moved Grant Williams? Did they need the cap space? Potentially.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Kristaps Porzingis is there. Like, there's a lot of ifs, ands, and maybes. And one of them should not be the Utah Jazz as a landing spot for Damian Lillard. If he leaves Portland and goes to Utah, it says it's not about winning. It was personal.
Yeah.
And you should have stayed in Portland. Damian Lillard needs to go to a finals contending team. He needs to go to Boston, New York. He needs to go to Miami. Now, should the Jazz be a facilitator? Absolutely. And we've talked about this on the show. I think we talked about it yesterday. We've heard repeatedly that the Jazz have been very aggressive in making trade calls. And there have been not many more aggressive teams on the Damian Lillard front than the Jazz, but not to land Damian Lillard. They want to be that third facilitating team because I also think the Jazz know they need a point guard. And the biggest issue for Miami is that Portland does not want Tyler Hero. The other issue is I don't think the Utah Jazz want Tyler Hero either.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that potentially could be a stumbling block. The money that the Miami Heat gave to Tyler Hero could be the reason that they end up without Damian Lillard because there's not an obvious third team that fits Tyler Hero. But likely to get Dame, you're going to have to move Tyler Hero.
Yeah.
So it's going to be really interesting to see where that ends up. But there's no doubt. The Jazz have the cap space. The Jazz have the capital. They have the bodies to move. They have the salaries and the bodies combined together to move. If they want to be a third team or a facilitator in a Damian Lillard deal, Jake, I think they can absolutely get that done.
Yeah, I mean, I think they can absolutely get it done. I mean, they have more than enough ammunition. It just really the question is, what are you actually getting? I mean,
yes.
I mean, if we're just talking about giving up a bunch of assets for a guy like Tyler Hero, I'm not so interested in that, But again, this is why I keep telling Jazz fans, like, great, you extended Clarkson, but I until dude suits up for game 1 this coming season, I am not going to subscribe to the idea that they're not trying to trade him because it just makes too much sense. You signed him, you overpaid to keep him.
Yes.
But then if you move him, you're like, wow, that's why they overpaid, because they wanted that extra cherry on top to get a deal done in whatever scenario they found themselves in. So did they overpay just to keep JC? Maybe. Did they overpay to keep him to trade him? That's what my opinion is.
I don't think they can trade him this year.
Well,
until I want to say it's after the deadline. I could be wrong about that. Don't hold me to bear for that. And real quick, one other NBA story we have to get to. Now listen, you guys know Britney Spears follows me on social media.
Mm-hmm.
She wants some of this. Listen, man, who doesn't?
Right.
She doesn't even know I'm alive. Britney Spears is chilling at the Aria Hotel Resort and Casino in Lost Wages. And lo and behold, Victor Wembanyama walks
Victor's
through.
the way.
And Britney Spears is like, well, goddamn. Look at that tall French man. That's Victor Wembanyama.
His stock.
I need a picture. So she goes running over there. And listen, Britney is a beautiful woman, right? Like she is. Oh wait, my bad, wrong picture. Britney is a beautiful woman. What? She is a beautiful woman,
right?
With a tinge of crazy as fuck in her, right? So Britney, goes over, and I'm assuming this is what the security guard saw when he smacked her in the face.
Yeah, and there was an update too on this. When she approached Victor, she was using a British accent, according to new reports coming out.
So Britney Spears runs up to Victor, and it depends on who you believe. The video's going to come out, but she grabbed him.
Yeah.
And the security guard quite literally smacked her in the face.
Yeah.
I'll drop that motherfucker.
She filed a police report. No charges are expected to be filed. He did not know it was Britney Spears, and if he did, I don't know that would have changed it. Did Britney do anything wrong here?
I don't think she did anything wrong other than, dude, you shouldn't walk up behind a horse, right? Like, you're going to get kicked in the face. Like, this is what happens. You want to run up.
Did you just call Victor Wembanyama a horse?
I did, right? Because everyone calls him a unicorn. Let's start referring to him as one, right? Like, it's incredible to me that people are surprised that this is the reaction. His security have a job to do. They don't care who you are. They're not going to look before they smack, right? So sorry if they broke your sunglasses on the way down to the floor, dude. Like, this is what you get. And this would be a non-starter if it wasn't Britney Spears. But it is, so now everyone's got to talk about it.
It is absolutely it is Britney Spears, and that makes it a starter.
Yeah.
And I think it's weird that Britney Spears is like, don't you know who I am? No, he doesn't know who. Does Victor Wembanyama have any idea who Britney Spears is?
Probably have heard of her, don't know her music.
I would think he does not.
Yeah.
He does not know Hit Me One More Time.
No.
He doesn't.
No.
He does not know who Kevin Federline is.
Fucking America.
But how crazy is it that Britney Spears knows who Victor Wembanyama is?
Well, everyone does.
Don't you know who I am?
How crazy is that if you're Victor Wembanyama? How does Victor, respond to this story? Is he like, whoa?
He did. It looks like I'm just checking Twitter here. It looks like he addressed the media on it. I don't know what he said, but I mean, he's done, dude. He's done nothing wrong.
Nothing.
Here. This is what happens when a dude is, clearly, just out of this world tall and, this amazing, sight to be seen. It just is what it is, man.
All I know is Britney Spears is batshit crazy. That's what this says.
Yeah.
Gary says, hit me one more time. Quite literally. Jeremy Callahan, you hear that? Jake called Wemby a noble steed. Okay. Not a ting, but total psycho. Okay.
Yeah.
Jackson Graham, is there a video of the slap?
Yes, but
Grainy.
not out yet.
Grainy. Greg Hawkins, Britney is a legend, but she is making music 10 years before VW was born.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying. Jeremy Callahan. Jerome?
Hello.
Jeremy Callahan. He knows Hit Me One More Time now.
Damn, bro.
Yeah, he does.
Damn.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he does. Kurt Peters, with Britney all crazy and busted, would I? Yes. No.
Bro, I know you did not just say you'd shop at that store, bro.
Bro, this is the store you would know.
Hiscock.
And the problem is
Hiscock.
2 words, Kevin Federline.
Bro.
No, and she, I love her when it was Justin Timberlake. But now all the mental issues she's had and struggled with, her family problems, like, nah, bro. Nah, and listen, back in the day.
Waves in opposition.
Back in the day, but even this picture looks crazy, Britney.
Yeah.
Back in the day, maybe.
She had it made.
All right, real quick, because we only have 10 minutes, and these 2 stories are really important. Yeah. Did you guys hear about the Japanese death row inmates?
Bro.
Okay, so you're on death row.
Yeah.
And in America.
Merca.
All right, guilty, death penalty. You're sentenced to die in 39 years. Okay, cool. You know when you're going to die. Do you guys know in Japan on death row, they don't know? Could be tomorrow. Could be a year from tomorrow. Could be in 15 minutes.
Dude.
How terrifying is that?
Wasn't this classic, like, Japanese style, though? Like, I feel like the Japanese are really good at putting you in a situation, but adding that little sprinkle on top just to make it that much more terrifying.
Dude.
And it's like, I never would have thought of this, but this concept is brilliant. Dude, you committed a crime, you're on death row, and yeah, we're not going to tell you when you're going to die because the person you killed didn't know when they were going to die.
Dude.
It's incredible. Like, it's brilliant. I love this.
Dude.
I love it.
I need to know.
He's an assassin.
If I'm on death row, and I'm not talking about like Snoop and Dre death row. I'm talking about if I'm in Japan and I'm sentenced to death.
I will chain you to a pipe.
I need to know when you're going to chain me to that pipe, sir.
I will downsize your face with a shovel.
I need to know. First of all, what's the method that you want to ride out on? Is it samurai sword to the gut?
Spinal.
That hurts. Is it lethal injection? Is it like how they do cattle with an electric shock to the brain?
Nah. Lethal injection, dude. It's painless.
No, it's not.
They say it is.
No, it's not. For some, it is.
Yeah.
Firing squad? Death by hanging.
No, not by hanging. That's right. You suffer, dude. You absolutely suffer.
Decapitation. Guillotine. Victor Wembanyama style.
Well, at that point, you're dead quickly.
Jeremy Callahan, death by uterus fart? When are we going to be done with that story?
Bro.
It's still the worst story ever. Greg Hawkins, lethal injection seems like a horrible way to go. Terrible. Oh, truck stop, Gumby. Come on. Death by Titanic submerged.
I was going to say, when are we going to get an Ocean Gate reference?
Damn it. Death by snoo. Okay. Greg Hawkins, I'd rather have like a shotgun point blank to the face, something fast. Oh.
Well, that's the thing with the Ocean Gate portion. They were dead instantly.
You hope. Taylor Smith, death by pack of dogs. Oh, my God.
Damn,
Taylor.
Bro.
No. All right. Let's see. You killed a bank guard. Yeah,
maybe your mom didn't go to heaven.
Yeah, we're gonna throw you into a pit with a bunch of hungry Dobermans and one pit bull. Good luck. Can you imagine death by pack of dogs,
dude?
God damn.
Because it doesn't ensure that you die, right?
Do you know that Instagram account, Nature is Metal?
Yes.
They had a story post the other day about a hyena and a cheetah fighting over a live impala. This poor fucking impala is being ripped in half between a hyena and a cheetah.
Dude.
The cheetah's trying to take the hyena or trying to take the impala up into a tree.
You're so fucked.
The hyena at one point was hanging. Dude, no, bro.
Bro, that's crazy.
Nah, bro. Crucify God. No, what is wrong
Why,
with you guys?
Bro? Why?
What?
I'm Shiva, the god of death.
No. The Norman show.
See what he did there. So it's because Norman's on the rap like 100 times.
I try to forget that story every day. Greg Hawkins, the scariest part about getting mauled by animals is that most of them eat while you are still alive.
That's what I'm saying, dude.
Oh, my God. And they probably start with D's nuts. Oh. I'd rather be eaten by sharks and game killed by that. Oh, my God. Dude. Do you want... I don't know why we're talking about this, but one last question. You're on death row. Do you want, like, community housing or do you want, like, isolation?
ISO, bro.
You
ISO.
do?
Oh, yeah. ISO. I'm not trying to die by someone else's hands, even though I killed someone else, apparently.
Oh.
You're on death row, right?
Bro.
I mean, I feel like you got to kill multiple people to land yourself on death row.
J.K. Marshall says chimp attack.
Dude.
There have been stories about chimpanzees ripping people's faces off.
That's gnarly, bro.
Truck Stop Gumby says death by old age. Could be.
Yeah.
Greg Swaim says, if you're on death row in this country, after all the appeals, you're forced to listen to the Monty show. No, I'm kidding. He didn't say that. After all the appeals you get, you did it. Deserve any cruel, unusual death you get. We do have too many appeals. Love the way we do it in Oklahoma where sometimes it doesn't work. Holy shit, bro.
Jesus.
Yeah, lethal injection? Bro, missed the vein. I mean, his arm fell off, but he lived.
Damn.
Stop. Death by constipation. Death by olives on pizza.
Ow.
Taylor Gilstrap, new game show. You're on death row in a house with roommates. One of them will kill you.
Squid Games.
Tonight at 8 o'clock.
Ow.
Yeah. Ow. What about that? You're all on death row. You get to play a deadly game and the winner goes free.
Yeah.
Would
it's
you
incredible.
do it?
Yeah. Hell yeah, I'd do it. If I was on death row, that's a chance to get out of here, bro.
Oh, no.
Because you're not getting, like, on death row, you don't have a chance for parole.
Oh, my God.
You might as well just end it now, dude.
Okay, finally. You know we talk about McDonald's on this show a lot. Greg Hawkins, we're counting on you. McDonald's has a program in Indonesia and on the Pacific Rim where you can hold your wedding reception at McDonald's for like $200 and they'll give you like 70 chicken sandwiches. Okay, first of all, who's holding their wedding reception at McDonald's? Second of all, I believe McDonald's is different culturally in Indonesia and in Asian countries.
Yeah.
I believe it's looked at differently on a cultural level.
Of course.
But I'm not holding my wedding reception at McDonald's.
Well, the funny thing about the program is they'll cater, too. They'll cater as part of this program.
And how much did you say it was?
It was $230.
God damn. And they'll cater it. But the problem is, if you're catering shit, it's still shit no matter how much you pay for it.
Well, they don't think it's shit.
Better send those refunds.
Dude, if you're getting... okay,
look at the... there's a graphic in there. It tells you how much you get for... You get nugs and you get chicken sandos.
You get nugs.
Yeah.
You get... nuggies.
So this is the official McDonald's account of Indonesia. Look in the bottom right corner there. How many... Doesn't it say how many you get?
100-piece chicken burger, 100-piece 4 McNuggets.
Oh, excuse me. It's a chicken burger, not a chicken sando.
Okay, listen to me. You guys. If you're serving chicken McNuggies at your fucking wedding, don't get married. You're getting divorced. Because you're not having sex that night. You're having diarrhea.
Dude.
Like, you cannot. Please, don't. Are you, like, would you ever consider this?
No. Nope.
You can never consider this.
Because culturally, it's different. We don't look at McDonald's like this.
Oh, my God.
But I think you make a good point. Maybe in Indonesia they do. Where's Greg? Where's my boy?
I think it's different.
Yeah, I need Greg's opinion here.
I think it's different.
Yeah.
I love the Norman Show. I love how they make it look fancy, right?
Right, yeah. They have to gift wrap it.
Greg Hawkins, at least in the Philippines, McDonald's will only hire college graduates.
Is that true?
Is that true? Truck Stop Gumby, Nuggies and orange soda.
Yeah.
We went to a barbecue. Oh, by the way, real quick, don't let me forget that. We went to a barbecue the other night, and my wife had a Capri Sun.
Capri Sun is so good.
They were so good.
Sunny D.
Tom Dean, happy ending meal. See
what he did there. It's a triple entendre.
J.K. Marshall. Love me long time for McDonald's.
Yeah, there's a happy ending, and it's a happy ending to life, and it's a happy ending meal because it's a happy meal.
That is taunting the Keiju to leave the deep and come destroy. Okay.
Oh, what are you talking about,
Taylor
man?
Smith, LOL, McDonald's is high class in Asia. Did this come up because Two Holes is scouting?
No.
Oh, come on, man. My back to front guy isn't scouting
dude,
McDonald's.
I am not back to front.
Come
You gotta
on.
make people believe that, dude.
Jeremy Callahan, Sunny D. The D is for diabetes.
Yeah.
International menus for McDonald's slap. Look for one in India. Ooh. The Norman Show. If I go to Asia, I'll go to McDonald's. Jakey Two Holes should have his wedding reception at Jack in the Box. Yes. Connor Johnson, quarter pounder slaps. I'll hear no slander. You ain't wrong.
You're not wrong.
You ain't wrong.
The problem is when you have like 5 of them.
The Norman Show wants to know if you've run this by page yet.
No.
Mike Smith, Jake is scouring cheap weddings in exotic locations.
Hey.
Greg Hawkins, I said above, McDonald's in Asia is actually like decent restaurant. It's expensive. Starbucks is considered status symbol.
Wow.
Okay, and on that note, real quick. Are you guys comfortable going to like parties and barbecues?
I didn't think twice about it.
We went to a couple of social gatherings of significance over the holiday weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Mrs. Monty.
Hey, Monty.
Is battling a mild issue. She's battling like a little sore throat. She's got the
coronavirus.
Sniffles. I'm proud of her. She got on the treadmill this afternoon after work. She's trying to sweat it out. But, like, are you comfortable going to social gatherings?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't think twice about it at the one I went to this weekend.
You didn't?
No, I didn't think twice about it.
We went to, a big housewarming party. And we were there several hours, sat around a bunch of dudes and chicks. And
inside or outside more
outside
often?
all the time.
Okay.
I was not willing to sit inside at all.
Man, it's really on your mind that much.
Yes.
Damn.
Oh, you guys, if I didn't feel like a murderer, I'd still be wearing a mask. Like I and I know you guys are going to think I'm a weirdo for this. I don't like going to social gatherings. My wife uses a tow truck, hooks up a hook to my belt strap, and yanks me down the road to get me to go to these social gatherings. I don't want to go. And then I get there. Yeah, I get there and have a great time. And we had great food. And they were great people. And they made homemade Indian food. And my wife loved it. And it was amazing. Now she's got like kind of a little bit of a flu thing. And I'm just like, I'm not there yet. I am not there yet. I am not ready to be like out and about.
But you're good in the airport. You're good traveling.
I do it. I don't love it.
Ain't no reset.
It's why I like the Delta Lounge. It's
Yeah.
why I like the Amex Lounge.
Right.
Because I can get away from people.
Yeah.
It is, yeah. I don't know,
yeah,
man.
I mean, I think that social gatherings are obviously back in full effect, and I have to be honest, I didn't think about it at the one I went to.
Yeah, I don't know.
But I mean, I think that, you know, the reality of the situation is when you put yourself around people that you're not around in the day to day, yeah, there's always going to be that risk.
I'm not comfortable doing it. I'm just telling. I'm not comfortable doing it.
But is that because of the pandemic or why? Because your whole life
I'm worried
you've been
about.
doing it.
I'm worried about the thing.
Yeah, but okay, so
YouTube doesn't want me to say.
Do you contend that you've ever had
the coronavirus?
Never, not one time.
Yeah.
I may have had it one time when Mrs. Monty got it, but I don't think so.
Yeah. I mean,
never felt it, nothing.
I don't think you'd feel it to this day because of how much
God.
treatment you've had.
Mrs. Monty is in the comment section.
Oh, boy.
It was the virus that killed it.
She says he loves to say people have the flu. It's not the flu. I have a little cold. Okay, call it what you want. She's got a sore throat. She's got snot rockets in the shower. Like the typical cold, not a flu. It's the cold, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I actually like the social gatherings. It's what I love about golf. Sometimes I get nervous. I have no problem golfing with people.
Flexes me.
It's outside.
Well, yeah, you're not worried about being sick. You're worried about them playing crap golf and taking too long.
Yes, that's true.
I mean,
everybody gets a test.
I don't know.
I don't know. I didn't worry about it that much. But
yeah, Connor Johnson says Mrs. Monty in the building. She is.
Yeah.
I'm not saying she's like dying. She's not. She's got a little sore throat and the sniffles. But we haven't had that.
Real.
Yeah, we haven't had that in years.
Yeah, I mean, you guys stay relatively healthy, but you guys also don't go out a ton.
That's true.
Right? So, I mean, there's a balance.
Yeah, that's true. The Monty Show presented by The Advocates, theadvocates.com, UtahAdvocates.com. I'm mental about it. I totally get it. At The Advocates, you never come out of pocket to work with The Advocates. You don't pay The Advocates unless and until they win your case. So you have nothing to lose. If you got hurt at work today and the company's like, we're going to take care of you, bro. Back pay, it's all good. We'll take care of you. Why not talk to the experts in workman's comp? Why? Why wouldn't you, for free, no charge out of your pocket, The Advocates? TheAdvocates.com. Chat with an attorney 24/7, 365 at The Advocates. Until tomorrow, say goodbye, Jake.
Goodbye, Jake.